Where in the world is Kawhi Leonard? We all want to know. So we were at his camp last night at King High School.
Yeah, Kono was embedded
deeply.
As a camper, as an 11-year-old clean-shaven little boy. He infiltrated the camp. While he was there, what was the verdict, Pep?
Well, he wasn't there, and he hunkered down for a good hour and a half. And I've got other people who were at the camp, and I asked them, hey, did you guys see Kawhi? Was he there? And they're like, no, not when we were there. So the camp was 3 hours long. We weren't going to stay till the bitter end just to see that he wasn't there. And that's why we start here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM, because, Jeff, you just dug up a picture on Twitter that showed Kawhi in Las Vegas last night. So was he not at the camp, I guess?
It appears that he was somewhere else to be spotted. He was spotted with former teammate Jonathan Simmons. They were hanging out together in Las Vegas. And this was, it appears to be Tuesday. Well, no, what is it today? Today is Thursday. It was Tuesday night at 11 o'clock at night. He was hanging out in a club in Las Vegas.
So he pulled a LeBron.
He might have pulled.
Can we make that a new thing? If someone promised to be somewhere and they just
LeBron
you,
a LeBron,
it's a real LeBron move.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Kobe
like this.
wouldn't do that.
I have a good one for you. I have a great story for you, and it's about one of your guys, Chris Webber, one of your all-time favorites.
That's my guy.
Our guy, Tim Hatch, was working at camps. He used to work the Chris Webber camp every single year.
The Chris Webber camp. Where's that at?
In Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
So, Chris Webber had a camp, and he didn't show up for the entire week. All of the other players, all the Fab Five, so I should say the Fab Four, showed up to kind of help out
Chris Webber camp.
To do the Chris Webber camp, and Chris Webber never made an appearance to his own camp.
Jalen Rose, Jimmy Jackson,
Juwan
Howard, Jimmy King, and Ray Jackson.
And apparently there was no C-Web, and that's been the problem. I mean, he doesn't even talk to the Fab Five anymore. So, he is ostracized, maybe because of camp.
I don't want to completely throw Kawhi under the bus. If you went to the camp last night and Kawhi was there, please let us know.
Yes.
But we sent Kono to the camp to look for him. He was not there. I talked to other people who were at the camp. Did you see Kawhi? And they said the same thing. No, he was not there. So I just want to know.
I bet he pulled a hammy. I see. That's the thing is, I'm not him. I think Kono pulled a hammy, had to leave early. So I hope we can find out. So if anyone was at King High School last night deep in the Riv, let us know if they saw Kawhi Leonard.
Hashtag the Riv raised me. We were there. We wanted to see Kawhi. We wanted to break news. We were hoping to show up and somehow, get to Kawhi and be like, yeah, I was just traded to the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
Something real juicy. It didn't happen.
This reminds me of that Simpson episode when the kids, Lisa and Bart, went to Camp Krusty, and there was no Krusty.
No Krusty?
no Krusty the Clown. But he showed up at the end when they took over the camp. He came. So.
Well, I'll tell you what. He looks really healthy in this picture, hanging out in Vegas. He looks really healthy, hanging out with.
Like he ate at a buffet.
Yes,
one of those nice Vegas buffets.
Oh, let's not talk. I have a story for you in a little bit.
I know you've got a story.
It's a good one. Yeah. But yeah, Kawhi Leonard hanging out with Simmons, hanging out in Vegas.
All right. Well, if you're at the camp, please follow us at Inland_Sports on Twitter, Inland Sports Show on Instagram, and hit us up. I'm just curious because I don't want to bury the poor guy.
No.
If he was actually there, but we were there for a long, long time. Other people I know that I trust were there for a long, long time. Nobody saw him, but I just want to know. But the new Las Vegas odds came out, and when Las Vegas puts out odds, I always feel like they know something. When they do the NFL games and they put the line at a certain a certain amount, for points. I always feel like they've got a real good grip on what is really going on. So all of a sudden, they put out new odds for where Kawhi Leonard's going to play next season, and the Toronto Raptors have skyrocketed to the top. This just came out this afternoon because before, I believe it was the Raptors and the Lakers were tied, and now the Raptors are the number one place, odds-wise, that Kawhi Leonard is gonna end up, the Toronto Raptors.
Well, we know it's probably going to be a rental, but there is a package that is out there, and it would send DeMar DeRozan, Jacob Poeltl, and OG Anunoby, I guess his name.
Sure,
why not? To San Antonio for Kawhi Leonard and a salary filler like Danny Green. Toronto would arguably become one of the Eastern Conference favorites behind possibly Boston, Philadelphia, and Toronto. I don't know if Kawhi Leonard would make that much of a difference if you don't have DeMar DeRozan there with him. So it could just be a rental for a year, a half a year, or does San Antonio just not trade him? And you remember, 2 weeks from now, Kawhi Leonard and Greg Popovich are going to meet in Las Vegas with LeBron James.
What, Team USA?
Team USA. That's going to come to a head. Very awkward. Something probably will either be done by those 2 weeks, because I'll tell you what, you're going to have all these guys recruiting Kawhi Leonard. You have Chris Paul, James Harden, they're part of the team. You have Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James, also part of the team. Is Kawhi going to have a hard time playing for Popovich for Team USA, or does Kawhi not even show up? If he doesn't show up, it looks real, real bad for Kawhi Leonard, and I think he has to. He has to show up.
So this is what, in 2 weeks?
In 2 weeks.
In Vegas?
In Vegas. We will. They start training camp, and that's when it will all come to a head. I hope that something happens before then being traded, or I would suspect that San Antonio was going to sit on it, and they're going to call his bluff if he's going to sit out a season or if he's going to play.
But if you're Popovich, wouldn't you rather be like, you know what? We've got to make this trade before we go to Team USA camp.
You
it's
have
to. It's going to be too weird. It's going to be awkward. Let's just get rid of them. Let's wash our hands. Let's make the deal.
And if they don't, can you imagine the recruitment from all of the players from Team USA?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why, if you are CP3 or James Harden, why would you not go, hey, why don't you come play for me? Or if you're LeBron James, come play next to me. This is the problem they have, and they've got to make something happen in the next 2 weeks before this happens in Las Vegas.
Well, right now, Toronto is the front runner, according to Vegas. We'll see how this pans out. We're brought to you by Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You can spoil yourself and your car. It's in the name, guys. You're overdue. You need an oil change. I know you do. Look up in the corner of your windshield. Way overdue. Or every 3,000 or 5,000 miles, depending on the car. You can go to Spoiled. Quick quality oil change off of Alessandro Boulevard. Right there off the 215. You can't miss it. Smack dab between the Riv and Moreno Valley. It's Spoiled quick quality oil change.
We have breaking news.
We do?
We do.
About Kawhi?
One of our sources.
Lots of sources.
And we do have lots of sources. A source just sent to me that DeMar DeRozan has deleted all of his Instagram pictures.
No.
So there could be something happening here.
Something afoot, because you just said that Toronto has put together a package for Kawhi, which included DeMar DeRozan.
So if he is just now deleting his Instagram photos, there is probably something coming down the pipeline. And the quicker, when we find out, we will let you know as well.
Is that like the protocol now for professional players to delete their Instagram? And
It's
the writing's on the wall, right? It's like if you go on there.
If you say anything, it's almost like Damian Lillard said something about playing for the Lakers last week, and he had to backtrack on social media over and over and over, saying, no, that's not what I meant. I said it would be nice playing with LeBron James. That's all that was said, and everybody took it as he wanted to be a Laker.
You know what's funny is last night I was searching for all the hashtags I could come up with. Kawhi, Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi Riverside, Kawhi Camp. There was not a single post or picture about Kawhi Leonard being back in Riverside other than what we posted, Jeff, because we had Kono out there. We had a couple tweets out there, and we were the only one. So I could not find a single picture, not a tweet, not a post, nothing about Kawhi being back in Riverside. I went to his Twitter account, which, listen, he doesn't run it. He's not on
his sister does.
The guy barely likes to talk to the media. He's not going to be on social media. His sister runs those things. But I went on Twitter just to be like, hey, does it still list him with the Spurs and whatnot? I went on there. He's still following the Spurs. He still has his Spurs pictures. So it's not like he's completely abandoned the Spurs if you're trying to find writing on the wall like a DeMar DeRozan, what it looks like right now. Because, again, he's not on there. And when he is, it's not even really him.
No, have you seen, I mean, let's just go back 6 months from now. Let's go back a year ago. Was there a more beloved player in the NBA than Kawhi Leonard? Was there ever anything bad said about the man?
No, squeaky clean. He did not run his mouth. All he did was work. And he was one of the best players in the league. And he wasn't one of the guys who's just all offense, best two-way player in the game. There's everything to love about him. You know what I mean? There's no drawbacks.
A consummate teammate, a consummate individual, a consummate, just a good guy in the locker room. But I'll tell you what, if you look now and you type in Kawhi Leonard on Twitter or
People are burying the poor guy.
He is the most polarizing figure in all of sports, even more so than LeBron James setting up everybody to go to Blaze Pizza. There are 99% of the people out there that are ripping Kawhi Leonard.
And I don't get it.
Hey, for one thing, I can imagine I think it would be justified if he said something and then you were able to rip the guy, but he hasn't said one word to anyone. We haven't heard anything from him. There isn't a soundbite. There isn't a quote. There are just his people that have leaked out information.
That's why we went to his camp, right? We were trying to get something.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Kawhi since he was a young kid. And honest to goodness, I don't think he's a bad guy. I've never ever had an encounter where I go, that guy's kind of a jerk. I've always thought of him as being a nice young man, quiet, always quiet, but very reserved.
He's probably just very protective of who he lets in his little circle, right?
Yes.
And so he should be. He's worth a lot of money. There's probably a lot of people trying to get at him, take advantage of him. I have no problem with that. He doesn't want to talk to the media, and I have no problem with that either. The only thing is, coming from a media's perspective, Jeff, we've talked about this time and time again, we have to jump to conclusions. We're trying to take this puzzle and put it together and make it make sense. If he would just come out and say something, he'd be like, okay, now we know what we're dealing with. All we know is what he met with Popovich. He told him he wanted to have a trade. There's reports that Tony Parker was the last straw. What Tony Parker said about his injury, like all these things. We're trying to take these little pieces and put it together to form this picture. If he just came out and said it with his face on camera, I think it would clear up a lot of different things. But until then, and again, I'm not faulting him for not talking to the media, but there's repercussions for everything that you do, and this is the repercussion of it.
Wait, do you think Tony Parker was traded to keep Kawhi?
I think I have a conspiracy theory, Greg Holla, and I'm glad you brought that up. I think they probably thought if there's any way we salvage our relationship with Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker cannot be in the picture. Do we go with Tony, who's 38?
Yeah,
38 years old.
38 going on 50.
Or do we have our guy who's the franchise? You got to go with Kawhi. So when the contract was up, like, Tony, you know what? Maybe if the situation was different with Kawhi, we could find a way to keep you around and bring you off the bench. But if they still, again, in the back of their mind think, you know what? Let's keep Kawhi one more year. We don't have to trade him. Maybe we still can mend this relationship. And the easiest way to do that is with Tony Parker not around.
Yeah, I agree. I do think, though, we're going to know this within 2 weeks, whether or not the Spurs are going to sit. They're going to say, look, we're going to call your bluff. We're going to make you play for us all year, or they trade him. I honestly believe, though, that it comes down to finance, Pep. We know that Kawhi Leonard is not somebody to be a spokesman of any kind, but I will say this. If he is in the Los Angeles market or the New York market or the Chicago market, the shoe money is much higher in those three places than he would ever get in San Antonio. If he comes to Los Angeles, he's a part of the Jordan brand. Somebody will offer him, back the truck up, and give him as much money as possible to endorse him with their shoe deal. The problem is, if he's a divisive individual and everybody hates him, people aren't going to buy his shoes.
No.
They're going to have to make a decision. They've got to fix what has already been broken.
Right?
They've got to fix this image. His image is cracked. It's not broken. It's not fractured because he hasn't said a word. But when he does come out and speak, it was very important that he fixes his image so that they can back that truck up and give him as much possible money for a shoe deal. That's where the money is, Pep.
Can you imagine if he came to L.A., let's say the Clippers?
Okay.
No. I'm going to say the Clippers right here.
Okay, we'll go Clippers.
But you know what I mean? Like, he's going to get a huge contract next year, right?
Yes.
Huge.
Huge.
He's probably, being in L.A., like you said, back the truck up. You pick the shoe brand. Maybe Jumpman. Maybe he stays with Jordan, the Jordan brand. He's going to make a ton of money. I think he'll make a ton of money wherever he goes, but he'll be close to home.
But making a ton of money without saying a word, because that's what Kawhi Leonard, he's not a big spokesman, but he will sell shoes, and that's where the money is in the NBA. You are a global brand if you have a shoe deal. You're a global brand if you're playing for Team USA and you travel to China, which they're going to do later on this summer as a team. When you go to China and you open your heart and your mind and your checkbook, those guys will buy shoes in China.
They love American basketball in China.
So something must be done before Team USA in the next 2 weeks. That's my prediction, Pep Fernandez.
Pep, Jeff, as a Laker fan, all I got to say is we waited for LeBron. We can wait for Kawhi. If it takes one more season, we'll wait.
Hold your breath.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Hold your breath for a year.
Because he wants to come.
We've heard that he wants to be a Laker. We've never heard it from his mouth. We've heard it from his people. Until we hear it from him, I believe it's all financially motivated, and I think we're going to have a resolution in the next 2 weeks.
I still feel like he's going to go somewhere in the East, if he goes at all.
Yes, for a year.
Greg Hollow brought up a great point with the move of Tony Parker to Charlotte, not bringing him back and letting him sign as a free agent with Charlotte. I don't know. If you want to read between the lines, maybe they are saying, you know what, Kawhi, you're our guy. Tony Parker was our guy. We had a great run. That was our heyday. But now you're our guy. If there's any chance of making this happen, we're going to do it with you. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you got to think of it this way. They can play him until the trade deadline. If things aren't better, then they get something for him. But they're not going to play him the entire year and not get nothing in return. That makes sense.
We're going to talk a lot more about Kawhi, the Lakers, LeBron James, all the good stuff. We still got baseball to get to. The Dodgers with a big 4-2 win against the Padres last night. Right now, the Dodgers are only a half game back of Arizona in the National League West. And Arizona's on the field right now, so we'll bring an update on the D-backs as the Dodgers could be in first place by the end of the night. Ross Stripling will get the start tonight for the Dodgers against the Padres. The Halos lost against Seattle last night, 3-0. Marco Gonzalez, unbelievable for the M's. 7 shutout innings. I had never heard of the guy, but he's 10-5 on the season, Jeff. Marco Gonzalez of Seattle is on pace to win 20 games for the Mariners this season.
That's an incredible stat, considering we talked about the Mariners before the season started, and they were just a blip on our radar. Now they're up front and really, really taking charge and taking control of this American League West.
Lindskog was talking about it last night. The pitching coach for the Lancaster Jethawks is actually the dad of the pitcher for the Mariners, and he didn't go to the game because he had a game.
Marco Gonzalez, the pitcher for Seattle's dad, is the pitching coach for Lancaster?
Yes. And he was there at the Quakes.
There was Marco whirling a gym last night. As a dad, you're probably super proud, but at the same time, oh, man, I missed it. I'm out here at Lomart Field.
What would you do in that situation, Pep, where if you were a pitching coach and your son, would you go or would you do your job?
That's tough. If I've already seen my son pitch a bunch of times, I'd probably be like, yeah, I got to do my job. But if I hadn't seen him pitch, or we're in the same proximity, because the Jethawks were here in Rancho, and were the Angels home? Yeah, the Angels were home, so you're just down the road. I mean, that's tough.
Nope, you know what I'd do?
What would you do?
I'd coach my game. I've seen enough of my kids. They annoy me enough.
You're like, I'm tired of them.
I'm tired of those little regrets.
Hey, more bad news for the Halos. We'll touch on this again later. Garrett Richards, starting pitcher, damage to his UCL. That's the ulnar collateral ligament.
Tommy John.
The UCL is the same thing that Shohei Ohtani had. And now, as the Angels put it, they're looking at conservative care or surgical options. Meaning, are they going to go the Shohei Ohtani route? Plasma-rich injections and maybe physical therapy, or are they going to go in there, do the Tommy John surgery, and just get him ready for next year?
And he won't be ready until 2020, if that's the case. So he'll sit out a whole year. Garrett Richards, a very, very key part of that pitching staff. Like you said, we'll talk about it later. I think we need to go through and talk about how many of the arms are going through the same injuries with the Angels organization.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
Very much so.
All right, and more bad news. The Quakes' 15-game winning streak is over.
Oh!
Snapped last night. I cried all night long. They lost 6-2 to Lancaster. I couldn't even go to sleep last night. Jeff, you said you were up till like 1 a.m. I should have called you. We could have consoled each other.
I drank that giant coffee yesterday, and I tell you what, I was laying in bed, and I was going, I can't sleep. I can't sleep at all. I had a nightmare of an evening last night, which we'll get into. But, man, the coffee, I drank a whole nother coffee like I didn't want to again today.
You're going to be up all night.
I was up all night, tossing and turning, thinking about Lindskog and the losing. The streak was snapped. Oh, yeah. It hurt me desperately.
We'll see if the Cougs can start a new winning streak tonight against Lancaster as they wrap up a series with them on a Thirsty Thursday. The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods. More than 40 years in the Inland Empire since 1976 with all of your sporting gear needs. For yourself, for the entire team. They can do Letterman's jackets as well. No order is too big. for your entire team, your business, your organization. They can hook it up with Letterman's jackets, screen printing, embroidery, and they do it all in-house. They do it the best. That's Ken Sporting Goods off the 15 freeway in Norco. When we come back, we'll talk a little Dodger baseball as well. Is Yasiel Puig, is he the odd man out for the Dodgers?
Yes.
He might be. No, I'm not saying he's done, but he might be the odd man out. Maybe he's going to be traded.
Good.
Get rid of him. And we'll talk about that Arizona Diamondbacks score. Again, they're on the field right now against Colorado as the Dodgers try to take first place by tonight in the National League West. We'll be back at your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
This is it. Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Every single day, live and amplified, 3 to 6 p.m. on the local sports leader. The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports, everybody's checking out Boost Performance Training. BoostTrainingSystems.com. Follow them on Instagram and Twitter. They got a strength and speed class. The first one is always absolutely free. So Kono's back in the house after a big Kawhi Leonard camp.
Yeah, he was. Did you pull a hammy?
Very close.
Very close. You look. You know what? You look. Your beard came in really good overnight.
Man, it really came in overnight.
Man, I'll tell you what. I said you were 11. I put you about 14.
Thank you.
There
I
you
needed
go.
that.
There you go.
But I did learn on the hop.
I
learned some terms.
Let's go
yeah.
on the hop.
Yeah, I heard that a lot. On the hop.
And then when you called, you said you guys were doing defensive slides, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a groin injury waiting to happen."
Yeah, like they go around the perimeter. Is that what they call it?
Yeah,
Outside, the outside.
defensive
perimeter.
slides.
But even like the instructor was like the guy leading it. I was like, that's pretty cool. He's not just telling them what to do.
But it wasn't Kawhi.
No, it looked like Snake. It looked like a human version of Snake.
Who's
Yeah.
Snake?
Oh, like a snake. It looked like a
Like
human
a snake?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. Defensive slides. They were copying each other and following each other all around the court.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no Kawhi. A lot of Kawhi hands. That's his symbol.
The claw, right?
Yeah.
That whatever logo that is.
Life-size claws on those posters, and his hands. He has the biggest hands in the NBA. Huge. Have you ever seen Dr. J's hands?
No.
Dr. J, I think, had an extra knuckle. That's how long big his hands were. Remember when he used to hold a basketball? It looked like he was holding a baseball.
Yeah, I remember that one signature move. You see the video of it, right? Where he's like palming the ball and he goes like under.
The biggest hands I've ever seen in my life. I actually had a chance to see Dr. J at a function years ago, and I shook his hand, and it engulfed my hand, and I was like, I felt like a baby. Like I had a baby hand next to him.
And you're a big guy.
I'm a large man, and I was like, I had a baby hand next to him. Little tiny
Little
hand.
baby hand.
Yeah, baby hands.
We're going to call you mini hands.
Yes. Hey, Pep, I was going to tell you about this. Last night.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to the buffet.
You weren't at the Kawhi Leonard camp?
No, I was all excited. Remember, I was going to take the family to the buffet.
That's right.
I was
That's
so
right.
fired up. Guys, that was the worst experience of my entire life.
What do you mean the worst? You were all fired up.
Oh!
You starved yourself for days.
I didn't eat a darn thing. I was just drinking water and coffee, and I was all excited to go. I was thinking I was going to get ribs, steaks, mashed potatoes.
Yeah, we talked about what you were going to put on your plate.
Yeah, oh yeah. So I take the boys, the three crazy kids, and Smedberg, the Gorham boys.
All three Gorham boys.
All three. They were at the beach all day. I had Connor was surfing. Johnny was at sailing camp, and Luke was rolling his curly head in dirt because he's only one.
So they all worked up a real big hunger.
They worked up a big hunger, and apparently they didn't nap other than maybe the drive home. Oh, man, I'm telling you what. We showed up. I'm all excited. It's 99 cents a kid. Luke was free. And walked out there. Not too expensive. First of all, I tried to sit down in the booth. I didn't fit.
What do you mean you didn't fit?
My belly was against the booth, and I was like, that already turned me off enough. I'm like, I'm eating salad.
You're like, now I feel bad. I'm going to be stuffing my mouth, and I can't even fit in the booth.
So we sit down. We put Luke in the baby seat, the high chair, and then he starts screaming bloody murder. Bloody murder.
Why?
He was angry because we forgot his sippy cup.
Oh,
so
that'll do it.
I had to give him one of those little kid cups that they give you. He grabbed it, and it was full of fruit punch. Squished it, and it went everywhere, all over. There were people next to us that got fruit punch all over him, and he's screaming and crying. He wouldn't eat anything. They were just throwing the silverware. He was throwing everything around. My other kids, my oldest boy was eating chicken like a Viking. He had both hands. He was
right off the bone.
His face was covered in grease.
Yeah.
And Johnny.
Which one was that?
That was Connor, the oldest. And then Johnny, the middle boy.
Fast Johnny, the sailor.
Fast Johnny, the sailor. Just wanted to eat ice cream and cream puffs.
Nothing wrong with that.
It was just a nightmare. And I only got to eat one plate. It wasn't even good because I had to feed the baby, and the baby was screaming his head off.
Oh.
It was a nightmare.
What was on your one plate? I'm just curious.
Meatloaf.
Everybody wants to know.
Meatloaf.
Ugh.
I had meatloaf. I also had a big pile of mashed potatoes with the brown gravy.
Okay.
And then I had some popcorn shrimp.
Okay.
And maybe a little salad, but it was tiny bit of salad. Oh, I'd go back in a heartbeat without the Gorham. I want to go back without the Gorham boys, without the wife, and I just want to sit in a chair.
Just you and the food.
Me and the food. I was taken out of my element. I went home. I was distraught. I didn't get much sleep because of my damn kids drove me nuts. I never want to take them anywhere again. Ever.
And then you said you were up till like 1 in the morning.
Yeah, because
I don't know if it was because Kawhi didn't show up or the Quakes winning streak is over.
It
or
was
the bad
all of it.
experience of the buffet. Like you were just distraught.
It was the 97 ounces of cold coffee too that might have kept me up. My heart was beating fast. You
got us coffees for the second day in a row. Like I've drank probably a fifth of mine. Yours is gone.
Oh, it's gone. And my heart's racing. I'm sweating. But yeah. Yeah. It was brutal. Pep, never again. If I ever mention buffet or my children again, come over here and slap me.
No, I remember those days when my kids were real small, and my wife and I would know instantly, and I know if you're a parent out there, you totally get it. You'll go to a restaurant, you sit down, and you know instantly, wow, this was a really bad idea. We should have kept the kids at home tonight because it's going to get out of control.
See, it doesn't bother my wife at all.
It doesn't?
Not at all.
Don't you feel like everyone's watching you?
Everyone. No, that wasn't. I didn't
everyone's
feel
annoyed
it.
at your family.
Yeah, I didn't feel it.
Jeff going from the Inland Sports Show, his family's crazy.
Every person in that place looked at my little one.
Yeah.
And said, what the hell is wrong with that kid? There is something wrong with that little boy.
What's wrong with their parents?
Yeah, I had to take him outside and walk him around the building. That's how bad it was. It was a nightmare.
Get him out of there.
I didn't even get a chance to finish my buffet. It was a nightmare. They even had a chocolate fountain. Wow. And I didn't even get a chance to utilize it. I didn't get to open my jaw and swallow a gallon of chocolate. It was miserable. Miserable, as I like to say.
What an awful night.
I know. I'm sorry, Pep. I just had to tell you.
The buffet was bad.
No, buffet wasn't
we
too bad.
couldn't find Kawhi.
Yeah.
The Quakes' 15-game winning streak is over. Man, I don't know how you even pulled it together to get into the studio today.
I have ant bites on my leg from being in here the last couple days.
Dude, I keep spinning around. If you're watching us live and amplified on the channel, you can see it. I keep spinning around because I've got ants.
I've got ant bites on my legs from sitting here. They literally, I'm hurting. There's an ant right there. An ant.
Right there.
Fox Sports. Yeah, you just killed old Ant-Man.
Oh, the wasp.
Oh, yeah, it was brutal. Brutal last couple days in here. The ants, the coffee, the staying up late, the team's losing. Now what are we going to talk about? Are we going to talk Dodgers?
We are, but we just blew that segment up.
Oh, sorry.
We just blew that thing up. We will talk about the Dodgers because, again, to rehash it, there's a chance the Dodgers could move into first place in the National League West by the end of the night. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the Rockies. In fact, they just went final And I'm not going to tell you what happened until the other side of the break, but it's good news for the Dodgers. So the Dodgers could move into first place in the NL West. And who's the front runner now for Manny Machado? It's not the Dodgers at this point. We've got that update as well when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
We're small, family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajelco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
Fellas, you think we could listen to the radio or something?
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
I love listening to 99.1 KGGI while we're doing our show. We get to listen to it live.
You like that? I'm going to go down the hallway and punch those sons SOBs in the face. I'm telling you right now. This drives me bonkers in here. Yeah, because they know. I walked out in the hallway, and I thought my heart was going to explode. The bass was so loud in this building.
What are we, like 30 feet away, maybe? Like 40,
hey,
maybe?
Five good Gorham steps away from a good.
Because you're real tall, though.
Hey, 5 good steps from a good ass whipping. That's exactly what was going to happen.
Our little studio is like rocking because they're blasting KGGI down there, 99.1. We love those guys. They're rocking out.
Have you ever listened to music that hurts your heart? That's what I feel. That's how I'm feeling right now.
When you're at the starting line of like drag racing.
I have.
And like your whole chest cavity rattles.
That's how I felt. I had to go wash my hands a minute ago, and I walked. I thought I was going to fall down.
Yeah, I saw Key West walk out of the studio. He was like shaking. Like the music was like so loud he couldn't stop shaking.
My inner ear was vibrating so bad that I almost couldn't walk. I was almost I was powerless. I felt like Superman had just been taken with some kryptonite, and I couldn't move. It was horrible. I'm glad they turned it off because I was getting really angry. I was going to go do a neck punch.
Key West couldn't take anymore. He was shaking all over the place. That'd be a bad scene in the bathroom.
There was some rapper over there, and he came out. There was photographers.
There was?
Yeah, I'm like, hey, guys. And
that wasn't for us?
No, they were rapping or something, and they had cameramen. And I waved to the guys, and they just flipped me off and walked away.
What?
Yeah, because they were hardcore rappers.
Is it gangster rap?
Yeah, probably. But I think that was a term. I think flipping me off was kind of a term of endearment. Probably. I think they were saying, "Hey, good job, buddy." Yeah, respect out of the big
Street cred for the big Jeezy.
Yeah, that was a little weird though.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. This segment's brought to you by Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road at Catalano Motors. If you mention the Inland Sports Show, you get $500 off. It's that easy. We're putting money back in your pocket. You're welcome, IE. It's because we love you. At Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road, $500 off. When you mention the Inland Sports Show, CatalanoCars.com. All right, so KGGI 99.1's bumping it down there. I got one other beef with our little studio, which I should announce. I think we're going to be moving.
We are.
The ratings are so good on the show, and thank you to everyone out there in the Inland Empire who's tuning in and helping us spread the word as well. So if you listen, please continue to do that. Tell everyone you know, your family, your friends, even your Nana down in Alabama, anybody who wants to listen. Please tell them. It's word of mouth. We appreciate the ratings have been great, and they continue to go up, and we love it, and we do it for you guys. They're going to move us to a new studio, a bigger studio, Jeff. It's getting really good around here.
It's huge, and it's an antless studio. There's no ants.
I'm still so itchy.
Yeah, but no, I'm excited. It's going to be fun to be in a big studio. Huge. We can have a studio audience in there if we wanted to.
So they treat us like kings here.
They
at
do?
Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah, they do.
They're giving us the
all
big studio. They roll out the red carpet. They treat us like big stars. We love all that. I just got one beef with this place.
Yes?
I went into the break room right now to get some ice for my iced coffee.
Yeah?
Someone always brings in donuts, which is great. Right?
Yeah.
Great. Fantastic.
I'm a fat guy. I love donuts.
I went to go get a donut. Problem is, whoever keeps buying donuts keeps buying the sugar donuts.
What?
And that poor sugar donut is always the last one. It's like you're in PE classes, the one kid that can't shoot a basketball, and he's always the last one picked. Why are you picking the sugar donut? Just get another chocolate or a maple bar. I don't care. Sprinkles.
If you brought that donut in here, we would be dead. The ants would have eaten you alive, Pep.
That would be over for me.
I got bites all over my leg. I'm bleeding.
But nobody wants the sugar donut.
I'm bleeding. I have blood. It's dripping down to my sock.
Like Kurt Schilling.
I am Kurt Schilling right now, being bitten by ants.
I have more ants on my side than your side.
Because I take care of my side. I keep it very clean.
I just killed another one right now.
I have little wipes over here. I got Windex because Windex kills and scares ants. Did you know that?
Yeah, I've been using it in my house.
There you
all
go.
over the place. Nice and clean. Bad. Bad.
The bugs are still there?
Oh, they're in
were they really in
my
your
wife's
freezer?
bathroom, the kids' bathroom, they're in the garage. They're all over the place right now. But the good news is no more scorpion spiders. We haven't seen any of those. So bring on the ants.
Ants are fine.
We're talking Dodger baseball here. Good news for all you Dodger fans. Breaking news on the Inland Sports Show. Colorado has just beaten Arizona by a score of 5-1. So if you do the math, the Dodgers and Arizona are now even in the National League West. Even. But if the Dodgers win tonight against San Diego, guess who's in first place?
Who?
The Dodger Blue.
Yes.
So good news as Colorado has beaten Arizona this afternoon. And if you're an Angels fan, one other game that you should be keeping an eye on, the Oakland A's take it on the Houston Astros, and it's also just gone final. The A's have beaten Houston. Kono, who's the resident Houston fan. 6-4 final score. Oakland is 12 games over 500. What got into the A's?
They've won like 17 of 20. It's ridiculous. They're on a tear like the Dodgers were last year. Remember, they were really far behind the Angels just a month ago. Now they're killing everybody. They're killing everyone.
Anybody in this room, name one player on the A's.
Mark McGwire, Ricky Henderson, Dave Henderson, Walt Weiss. No? Are those guys? Remember those guys?
Terry Steinbach. Mike Gallegos. I know them all.
Oh, yeah. That was
Carney Lansford.
Max
Muncy.
Chuck Muncy.
No, you guys can't even name a single A, but they're really good. Jed Lowry.
Close. Jed Lowry.
He's an all-star. Ouch. So anyways, if you're an Angels fan, keep an eye on the A's. They're not going away. The American League West, probably right now the best division in baseball. Between Houston, Seattle, Oakland, and the Halos. That's brutal in the American League West. So.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what I'm thinking about Andrew Toles. Remember, he just got called up because Yasiel Puig has the oblique strain. And
yes.
And right now, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we might see a Yasiel Puig sighting deep in the Cook in Rancho Cucamonga at some point on a rehab assignment. We don't know yet. We haven't heard any official word. Mike Lindskog will be the first to know because he has that direct line with Dave Roberts of the Dodgers. But they just called up Andrew Toles to take Yasiel Puig's place. Jeff, I think right now, I would rather have Andrew Toles on my bench or on the team more so than Yasiel Puig.
I wanted Yasiel Puig gone years ago, Pep. No one listens to me. He was almost gone. They sent him to the minors a couple times. But, man, they just can't seem to get rid of that guy.
I mean, just think about it. You got Jock Peterson, Matt Kemp, Cody Bellinger can play in the outfield. Kike can play in the outfield. Chris Taylor can play in the outfield. You got Andrew Toles. That's like 6 outfielders right there. If the Dodgers are approaching the trade deadline, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Yasiel Puig could be on the trading block.
Good.
If you had to pick a guy to put out there and say, listen, let's make a deal, it could be Yasiel Puig.
I mean, he's a phenomenal athlete, probably one of the best athletes in baseball, but his lack of hustle, his lack of decision-making, his clubhouse demeanor, the things the lack of effort that he's put into getting better every single year, it just hasn't happened. When is it ever going to be Yasiel Puig's time? I like that he plays good for 2 weeks and then will suck for a good 4 months. You need a consistent Puig. And if you can't get a consistent Puig, you ship the Puig. You get the Puig out.
He just might be the odd man out at this point. I mean, because they do have a surplus of outfielders. I just think if you're on the trade, if you're trying to make a trade and you don't want to give up some of those young prospects like the Alex Verdugo guy who's down in AAA, Yasiel Puig might be a nice name. And there was a conversation, 2 or 3 years ago, to be like, who's better, Yasiel Puig or Mike Trout? Remember? Like, people was actually talking about that. There was so much upside on Yasiel Puig. We saw him when I think it was like a $40 million deal when he first signed with the Dodgers. We saw him start with Rancho Cucamonga. He quickly worked his way up. He made a huge splash onto the scene in the major leagues. But he hasn't really been that great.
I'd rather have Tim Tebow right now, for God's sake.
He had a double in the All-Star game.
But no, I think Yasiel Puig might be part of that deal. I think if you're going to bring in Manny Machado and you know that you have an influx of outfielders, maybe you send Puig as part of the package. Then the Orioles can deal with him for the rest of the year, or they can keep him, or they can get something for him in the offseason. He might be part of that because you're not going to get Machado for a long-term deal. He's going to make too much money. It's like right now, if you trade him, it's a lot like when Mark McGwire was traded from the Oakland A's to the St. Louis Cardinals. That is the kind of player Manny Machado is, but he's going to command too much for the Dodgers to keep beyond this season.
And I still feel like they really don't need him. I know that goes against the popular opinion.
With you.
It's going against the grain, but I'm like, you know what? I know everybody wants him. Right now, the latest team to get into the mix is the Red Sox and the Yankees, for that matter. So basically, everybody wants, if you're in the playoff race, everybody wants Manny Machado is basically what it boils down to right now. But if I'm the Dodgers, and again, this is probably not popular opinion, but I feel like you really don't need him. Why don't you go stock up with some bullpen arms or something? Trade Yasiel Puig for a reliever or two. I just feel like they could, if they're going to make a trade, getting Manny Machado shouldn't be like the priority. And I know some people are like, oh, of course, if you can get Manny Machado, you got to do it.
For 3 months?
That's the thing. Same thing with Kawhi Leonard. Do you make a trade and have Kawhi for 1 season, then he's going to bolt to the Lakers?
No. This is the hard part about this whole situation is everybody would like to have Manny Machado on their team. The sad part is he's having a career year, which means he's going to command the money that Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, that's the kind of money we're talking about. That kind of money can really, really set a team back for years and years and years. Teams like San Diego Padres, those guys can afford them. But what is that going to change your team that much? I think that the Dodgers should stay pat and not do anything except maybe, like you said, bring in some arms for the later on after the All-Star break when you want to rest those guys for the playoffs.
You know, and I know some Dodger fans will be like, why would you not want Manny Machado? It's not like I'm saying if I was a Dodgers fan, I wouldn't want him because, of course, he's one of the probably best 3, 4, 5 players in all of the major leagues right now. One of the best players in all of baseball.
He's the 7th best player in the major league if we go by stats right now.
But if you look at the Dodgers, they've probably done it better than anybody else in terms of bringing up that homegrown talent and then adding in some veterans here and there to fill in the gaps. They do it better than anybody else. I wouldn't mortgage the future and trade, let's say, at Alex Verdugo, who's supposed to be a star outfielder. Look a guy like Walker Buehler. Would you get rid of a Walker Buehler because you want to bring in Manny Machado for a couple months? I just feel like the Dodgers, they have the blueprint. They've been doing this for a long, long time with these young guys coming up. They know the talent. I'm talking about the Bellingers, the Seagers, all those guys. Jock Peterson, they can see that talent. Don't get rid of it for a Manny Machado for 3 months when, again, I really don't think you need him. I think offensively, they're good. They've got enough offensive punch. They can handle it. They'll be fine. Yeah. Get some pitchers. If you really want to make a trade and they're like, we got to do something, we have to do something to help our chances get to the playoffs and win a World Series title, get some pitching.
5 National League West titles and a World Series appearance. They are so close. Don't mess with what they got.
It's basically the same team from last season.
Exactly.
Basically the same team. All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. We'll talk about Rob Pelinka. You know who that guy is?
Yes. Oh, that's Kobe Bryant's agent.
It is. Well, it used to be, right? Now he's the GM of the Lakers. He looks just like Rob Lowe. He was talking about the Lakers, LeBron James, because we have not seen LeBron James at a press conference yet.
No.
We'll talk about Rob Pelinka, what he had to say about LeBron James when we come back. It's the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Inland
How you guys doing? Coach Bass here. We're back at the BPC continuing our training series on developing power for off-season football players. So today we're going to work on a dumbbell alternating bench press, and it's all going to be about power. So Ian, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and lie back on the bench. I love programming this drill here for linemen, really for all athletes, but especially for linemen, D-linemen, because, you know, they're always grappling, they're always striking. You want to be nice and strong and powerful. So what he's going to do, he's going to alternate. He's going to go down 2 seconds. He's going to pause 1. He's going to go up 1. Let's hit it. Good. Going really fast on the way up. So again, working on 3 different aspects of strength here. We got that slow eccentric coming down, right? We got that isometric pause there, and then we got that fast contraction coming up, that fast concentric. So like I said, we're working on 3 different aspects of strength. This is a great drill to maximize power, and we do it right here at Boost. Grind hard, stay solid. How you guys doing? Coach Bass here. I want to talk a little bit about today's training tip. We showed you guys the dumbbell alternating speed press. All right, and we talked about was a 2-1x tempo. I want to show you guys how we progress this exercise and continue to maximize power. So with that 2-1x tempo, we go down 2 seconds, we pause for 1, and we go up fast. So what we'll do is over time, we'll progress those tempos. So we'll go from a 2-1x to a 1-1x tempo. We go down 1 second, pause for 1, and we get that fast concentric contraction. And then finally we'll go to an X1X tempo where we go down fast to isometric pause and then fast up. So really what we're doing is we're just developing speed, developing power through different muscle contractions. That's how we progress our drills right here at Boost.
Focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. Just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. Come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, live and amplified every single day of your life on for 3 hours here in the IE. We're brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change. Spoil yourself, spoil your car every 3 or 5,000 miles. You guys know the drill. In fact, you're probably overdue right now. Get to Spoiled off of Alessandro Boulevard, right there off the 215 freeway between Riverside and Moreno Valley. We love you, Spoiled.
Hey, Jeff, going into the break, we were talking about the Lakers, and Rob Pelinka has come out. He addressed the media because we have not seen LeBron James. He has signed the contract. It is official. It's a done deal. But usually, you know, that you smile real big, you hold up the jersey, you talk to the media, you do that whole thing.
Yeah.
He hasn't done it yet. Where is LeBron James besides floating in his pool?
I can tell you exactly where he was.
Where?
He was meeting with Leonardo DiCaprio and Al Pacino last night.
Is that a true story?
Yes, very true. How dare you besmirch the name of LeBron James and everyone else. He was at Nobu, I believe, in Los Angeles last night.
I don't go to your swanky
Hey,
places,
Rich.
Jeff.
Hey, I've been there several times. It's a cool place to eat. But he was having a sit down with Leo DiCaprio and the old Scarface guy, Al Pacino.
Were they talking about movie deals? Or
Who
what's
knows
going
what they're.
on?
When you are a billionaire, you can sit down with whomever you want. And apparently, he wanted to hang out with Leonardo DiCaprio. That's where he was.
That's where he was hanging
Yes,
out. Maybe
last night.
Kawhi Leonard was with him as well.
No,
We
he was
don't
in
know.
Vegas. He was in Vegas, apparently.
Okay, so Rob Pelinka did talk to the media. That's the closest thing we can get to LeBron James at this point. Here's what he said, Jeff, when he talked to the media. In fact, we have some of the press conference. We might even play some of it later in the show. But he said, quote, outside of LeBron James, the starting lineup is an open competition. How does that strike you? My first thing is, okay, Lonzo Ball's not guaranteed a spot because they brought in Rajon Rondo. Maybe they go big. They have JaVale McGee play the 5, and he's going to be a rim protector. He's going to be more of a true center, even though he's very athletic. You know what I mean? Like, LeBron James is your guy, obviously. But besides that, maybe Kuzma's in the mix. I don't think those young guys have a guaranteed spot.
And they shouldn't. I mean, they've won 35 games last year, I believe. They won 30 the year before. You know, you can only get so far with young players. And you bring in LeBron James, you bring in a Rajon Rondo, you bring in a Lance Stevenson, you bring in JaVale McGee, you bring in these seasoned veterans, guys who are tough. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, a tough guy. You have these young guys that feel that they've been given it to them. The torch has been given it to them by L.A. for the last 3 years. Guess what, guys? It's time for you to start playing and having guys on your butt every day in practice, kicking you in the teeth, basically, to make you tough. We're going to see real quick whether or not Lonzo Ball is a Laker or a journeyman in the NBA. He's going to have to learn to play behind every single practice. Rajon Rondo is going to punch him in the face. And I mean that figuratively. He's going to get after him every single day. Lonzo Ball is going to have to get rid of the moniker of him being soft. Yesterday, Pelinka mentioned a couple guys. He mentioned JaVale McGee. He mentioned Caldwell Pope. And he also mentioned Lance Stevenson. He said those guys are tough. He didn't mention Lonzo Ball. He did mention Josh Hart, though, who is another guy that's going to really put some fire into these young guys. And he has a shot to play. He is a player, Pep. The Lakers are going to have to see who is a pretender or a player. And we've seen pretender for 30 games last year. Lonzo Ball missed as a rookie. The softness needs to get tough. Lonzo Ball playing in front of Rajon Rondo will either make him a player or a pretender.
I've been in this situation. I know you've been in this situation. Obviously, not to the degree of playing for the Lakers, but I've played on teams in high school and college where at one point I was the young guy pushing the veterans, and then I was the veteran guy trying to hold on to my job because these young, hungry guys were in camp. I could not wait to see Lakers training camp this September because, again, before, Lonzo Ball was the guy, right?
Yes.
I mean, he was the guy. He was the point guard. He was the guy of the future. It was his job. Now you bring in a guy like Rajon Rondo who's won an NBA championship. He's been around the block. He's a proven commodity. Lonzo Ball's going to have to battle for his minutes and for that starting job. Nothing's going to be handed to him at this point. I'm excited to see what training camp's going to look like and who's going to emerge as a starter coming out of training camp.
And there's going to be a lot of different. I mean, there could be some roster changes, and you figure they're going to tinker with it. But you remember, for those 30 games that Lonzo Ball was out, Brandon Ingram was mainly the point guard. And Brandon Ingram is 6'9". He's a slight 190, but he can finish. He's much better outside shooter. He can shoot free throws. You can almost see them going big on the outside, stretching the floor. And like I said, I wouldn't put past LeBron James playing a stretch 5 because I don't think there's a post man in the Western Conference that could guard LeBron James.
When you see this roster coming together, do you look at it and say, okay, I bet you Rob Pelinka is building this team so they match up specifically against Golden State? Or, hey, this is the best team we can put together. Let's see what they can do.
No, I honestly think it's either Golden State or bust. I mean, really, LeBron James, a lot of people are saying, well, they might not win it this year. Well, they probably won't win it this year, but they're going to get a gauge of seed to where they are for the following year. Because remember, LeBron James had to play everybody in the East. Remember, it was his playoff series, the last 8 years, he's played every single game until the
almost
season,
every minute,
every minute, every game. This year, if they don't win it, they're going to have to get through Golden State to make it to the finals. If they play them the first round and they lose, LeBron James has a little bit of a rest, and we'll see to where the Lakers are to gauge against the Golden State Warriors. I think this is a feeler year, and I think that we're going to see a lot of guys that are going to come in next year. LeBron James is getting older. Father Time always wins, but when you bring in great players to surround him, it makes it a lot less hard on that body with those young guys. I think this is going to be, like I said, a year to gauge against Golden State.
Well, to piggyback on what you said, because Magic Johnson said the same thing, he's given himself 2 off seasons, right? 2 free agencies to build this team back up to a championship caliber. Now, they got LeBron James, and they got some good pieces in Rajon Rondo, Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, and that's all great. But next offseason, Jeff, we're talking about Klay Thompson. Kawhi Leonard's going to be in the mix. I mean, there's some good players out there. Are the Lakers ready? Are they ready to say next season will be an experimental time?
Yes.
It's not championship or bust. Let's see what we got. But LeBron James is 33. I think he'll be the best player on the planet for another 2, maybe 3 years. Then that window's going to start closing. Right? I mean, do you really want to waste a whole year experimenting? Or do you make that push to, I don't know, maybe you do go get Kawhi?
Well, it's definitely an experiment, and I'll tell you why. Because look at all of the guys they brought in to sign. They brought in McGee. They brought in Rajon Rondo. They brought in Stevenson. Guess what? They're all 1-year contracts, Pep. That means that they can be gone after this year. They're going to have a ton of money to spend. They signed Rajon Rondo to a $9 million deal. That's going to come off the books next year. They're going to also have another max contract next year. That's just part of their deal. This is going to be, like I said, it's to gauge to see if they can compete against the world champions.
Greg Hall is consoling me. Because Lake, yeah, I am real itchy.
Because we got ants in the studio. Ants in my pants. Yes, but no, I do. I just think it's a year to see where the Lakers are. If the Lakers can, anything can happen. Golden State, we don't know if Boogie Cousins will ever play, and they're saying now the playoff. That's when he's coming back. How do you gel with a team when you only have 16 or 20 games to play? That's if you win it all. What if somebody gets hurt? Steph Curry has been hurt several times the last couple of years. He was hurt 3 times last year. There's a chance that they could stumble and it's anybody's game. I think Houston is down. You can say what you want, but they lose their best 2 perimeter defenders, and you don't have any defense. You bring in Carmelo Anthony. James Harden can't guard a soul, and C3P or whatever, CP3 is hurt all the time, and he doesn't like to play defense. So there is a shot for the Lakers to sneak in there.
Yeah, but for the Lakers to sneak in there, you need Golden State to stub their toe. Whether, like you said, guys getting hurt, DeMarcus Cousins never comes back, which we know they don't really need him anyways. They can win the title without him.
Let's just recall 3 years ago. Cleveland was down 3-1 to the Golden State Warriors in the finals.
That's right.
What happened?
LeBron brought him back.
Hey, anytime, and I'm starting to hear doubters. You listen to the sports radio and you go to the TV and you listen. There's starting to be some doubt in LeBron James' game. You didn't hear that in the playoffs this past year. You said LeBron James. Everybody said LeBron James is the best player on the planet. 6 months is not going to change. He spends $1 million plus a year on care and prevention of his injuries. I can see the same thing when we get into the playoffs. It's LeBron James' team to lose. If he's out early, it gives him a rest. Big deal. No biggie. Lakers move on, get better the next year.
Well, going into training camp, again, Rob Pelinka said, outside of LeBron, because everything's different with LeBron James, he's just a different animal. Outside of him, everything is up for grabs.
And I think that by bringing in Rajon Rondo, and there was grumblings of trading Lonzo Ball, this is going to make Lonzo Ball play.
This will make or break it, right?
Yeah, he's going to have to play. If he doesn't play, he's going to find himself really far down on that depth chart. It can also mean the fact that if he does play well, he could be trade bait. He might be okay to trade. You don't want to deal with the dad. You don't want to have distractions with this Los Angeles Lakers. They've never had them in the past. The only time we've ever seen dissensions when Kobe and Shaq had their fight, but they still won. They still won three championships. But I'll tell you what, Lonzo Ball is not Shaquille O'Neal. Lonzo Ball is not Magic Johnson. Lonzo Ball is a pretender until he plays 82 games.
Again, I can't wait for training camp because we're going to find out how hard these veterans are going to push these young guys and make them earn their jobs, right? Before, there was nobody else pushing them on this Lakers roster. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm the guy, and it's like running, like Monopoly, right? Like you run the show, there's no competition. I'm going to make all the money. No, now you've got competition in training camp. And again, these are guys. JaVale McGee just won the championship. Rajon Rondo's won a championship. Lance Stevens, he's been a pain in the butt for LeBron James for a long time. He's been pretty good in a lot of different places. These are guys who are established. They're going to make these young guys work for it. And these young guys, Ingram, Kuzma, and Lonzo Ball, are either going to rise to the occasion and be those stars that the Lakers are hoping to be, or these veterans are going to be on the starting five.
Pelinka, Magic Johnson, and Jeannie Buss are putting together right now the best team that they have a shot to win the championship. This is what they have. This is what they're going to have to play with. Unless they get Kawhi Leonard, this is the best, and then it will only get better as the years go on.
My starting five for the Lakers right now, and I know you and I disagree, but if I'm Luke Walton and I'm putting together my starting five right now, I go with the four new guys and Kyle Kuzma because you need a guy who can score. You need a guy who can put the ball in the basket. I like Lance Stevenson because he's going to play defense. JaVale McGee is going to protect the rim, give you some defense, for the big guys. I mean, there's not a lot of, maybe like a Draymond Green. There's not a lot of big guys out west right now, but still need him. I would let Rajon Rondo run it. He's the one. Of course, LeBron James. And then Kyle Kuzma's going to add that scoring punch. I would go with the four new guys and Kyle Kuzma right now. If you said, hey, tomorrow night's opening night, who's your starting five? That's who I'd roll.
I like Kuzma, but I would lean towards Ingram. I think his upside, his athletic ability,
Over
the way,
Kuzma?
just because he's a finisher,
or in addition to,
yeah. I mean, you could put both of those guys in a wing, and then I think you put that puts LeBron James really at a power forward spot or a stretch five. I would go with I would let Lonzo Ball start the season just to see if he has that mental toughness. As a coach, I would say, we're going to put you in this position, but if you are in this position and you fail, we have Rajon Rondo. We also, no one's talking about this other guy from Germany, Isaac Bonga, the 6'9" point guard, who is supposedly the best player in Germany, didn't work. Remember, he shut it down 6 months ago. The Lakers knew they were going to get this guy. He was playing in the European leagues, just quit, stepped down, didn't play. The Lakers got him in a steal. They were the only team that he worked out for, and you have 4 point guards on this roster, and you can also play Brandon Ingram at the point. Lonzo Ball, you better start playing. That is the key, but I would have to go with Ingram. I would keep Ingram and Kuzma. I would probably play McGee at the post right now if we were going to go that route, and maybe back up with Mo Wagner.
Because you could go all young. You could say, okay, LeBron, we're going to surround you with all our young guys. Mo Wagner, Lonzo Ball, Ingram, Kuzma. You could go all young with LeBron and bring all those veterans off the bench. You could do that.
Hey, the good thing about that is you have tough guys on the bench. Like I said, Caldwell Pope is a tough perimeter defender.
3-and-D, right? You're going to play defense. You're some threes.
Hey, you're going to. That's the one thing you have this year that we haven't had in the past. Is you have a bench that are tough veterans. The guys that they got rid of, Larry Nance Jr. or Larry, whatever, Jordan Clarkson. Those guys were soft. No, I'm not ripping them, but they were soft defensively. You have guys now. Lance Stevenson will fight you. He will fight guys if
blowing your ear too.
If LeBron James goes up for a layup or any Laker goes up for a layup and gets their head taken off, you know that Lance Stevenson is going to be right there. And you know Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is that guy as well. Those are two guys right there are enforcers. You look at the team of Golden State now with Boogie Cousins and Draymond Green. Those guys are enforcers.
Yeah.
So the Lakers are kind of molding their team somewhat like the Golden State Warriors, but the one thing the Lakers lack that the Golden State has is that deadly outside shooter. There isn't a guy on that Lakers roster that I look at and go, he's the best shooter on the floor.
Well, Lakers training camp is going to be really juicy this coming fall. The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports. Golf, lacrosse, soccer. Of course they do football. Ray Bass was a big-time star Check them out, boosttrainingsystems.com. Make sure you follow them on Instagram and Twitter. That's boosttrainingsystems.com. They have a strength and speed class. That first one is always absolutely free. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, Jeff, we got our hot little hands on the Riverside TV football schedule for this upcoming fall. We'll have the voice of Riverside TV, Ghizal Hasan, join us next as we go through the schedule. Some good games on here, including some rivalry games. Jeff, you're going to be on the call for some of these, including, I'm excited about the new Rain Cross Conference. We have some new games in this Rain Cross Conference as they have the Ivy League, the Sun Belt League, and the Inland Valley League all wrapped up into the Rain Cross Conference. So we'll talk with Ghizal Hasan when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
We're a small family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajelco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 a.m. In just a couple of minutes, we'll talk about the Riverside TV football schedule for this upcoming fall. Jeff, I assume you've been studying this whole list because you're one of the voices of Riverside TV, so I'm sure you've been staying up all night long breaking down every single one of these teams.
I have lost sleep over this schedule.
I'm sure you have.
I mean, you figure every team in Riverside gets 2 shots to be on Riverside TV. And I'll tell you what, there are some good games that are coming up, and I hope to see a better showing from Riverside teams that we've seen in the last year. We didn't have any playoff teams last year, so maybe this year we'll get some playoff wins and some good games on the television.
All right now let's go to the Ken Sporting Goods Celebrity Hotline. A good reminder to get all your sporting gear needs at Ken Sporting Goods in Norco off the 15 freeway. They can do Letterman's jackets as well, kensportinggoods.com. Right now, let's talk to Ghizal Hasan. I'm sure he's been studying all the teams just like Jeff, staying up all night long. Ghizal, what's cracking, brother?
Correct, Jeff. I feel bad about doing this. We did have a playoff game last year. It was a thriller between Hillcrest and Arcadia came away with a win, but it wasn't, you're right, it wasn't the cornucopia of 2016, where I think we did 3 playoff games, right?
Yes, we did. That was a couple years ago. Last year, like you said, Hillcrest was in a playoff, but we didn't get a victory this year.
You're right. You're right.
It was kind of a down year for Riverside football overall. It was a great year for basketball, but for football, it was kind of down. But, hey, Ghizal, I want to say congratulations. I heard you and Jeff and the whole Riverside TV crew just won a big award for that Hillcrest game you just brought up.
Hey, congratulations to you as well. So the Scan the Toe Awards, which takes place every Memorial Day weekend, it's a regional community TV award. I think it's Nevada, Arizona, California, maybe Utah, New Mexico, out of the 4 or 5 states. So, yes, for the 3rd straight year, Riverside TV won 1st place for live sports events production. And how about this? So this year in sports programming, so it's like program, not live sports, number 3, was the UC Riverside Coach Show. So we are when we talk from now on, Pep and Jeff, that's a couple of award winners that we're speaking to each other. So I'm an award winner speaking to you. You're an award winner speaking to us. But really, it's more about the crew. It's more about the production. So you know, as I know, we work with the best crew in the business. And congratulations to the good folks at Riverside TV for just putting the stuff together. And I'll tell you what, I don't know about the coaches show yet. I've been told there are some enhancements coming this year on Riverside TV coverage of high school football, and I'm excited.
Yeah, you know, I feel like I'm almost a triple threat. I need to get an Emmy, an Oscar.
What, you like Kobe now?
I'm like Kobe. I'm gonna start my own thing. I need to build a new trophy case in my house for my family because my son's a sailor. My other son's a basketball player, and my other one eats dirt. So yeah, so I'm excited. Good job, Ghizal. But hey, we got a good schedule this year.
I'm embarrassed because I haven't really. I looked at a few of the games. I know we open. The opener is going to be a good one. The opener is going to be the backyard brawl. It's going to be Grand Terrace and John W. North, and I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, Grand Terrace is going to have, without their their stud running back this year, kind of a rebuild mode.
Not a big back.
Not a big guy.
Remember, his little guy was like 5'5".
He was like a triple A battery, but he averaged like 300 yards a game. But John W. North,
Nolan, I think it was. Wasn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
But John W. North has a new head football coach this year.
That's a shock. So Mr. Dubois, what happened to Mr. Dubois? He decided to move back to France. I mean, I love working with Coach, but I understand Dennis Brown, right?
Yeah, Dennis Brown is now the head football coach. Coach Dubois stepped down for some personal issues, I believe. But yeah, the program will be in great hands with Coach Brown, who's been around the block of Riverside probably 8 or 10 times, I'm sure.
And I understand Opie Vaipulu, who was head coach at Poly a couple years ago, he's coming back as an assistant, correct?
Yeah, I saw that on social media as well. I believe he was, I want to say at Hemet High School. He was out there for a little bit. So
he's
back in the Riv.
Not Hemet. He was at one of the Hemet High Schools. It wasn't Hemet High. What is it? It's West Valley. What's the other one? I think he was
Talkwitz.
I think he was
West Valley.
Talkwitz.
Yeah, and then, we've got Notre Dame and Hillcrest, the second game of the year. Hillcrest is a different team. They lost Cordell Labrie. They've lost their offensive and defensive coordinators. Coach Branham is going to have to change things a little bit. And Notre Dame has a lot of transfers. With the closing of the athletics program at Carnegie, a lot of those players have transferred over to Notre Dame. And the first-year head coach at Notre Dame is going to have his hands full against Hillcrest in that second week.
Well, but neither Hillcrest nor Notre Dame, I mean, the cupboard wasn't bare. I mean, I know that they both took some hits in graduation, but I know Hillcrest had a good young core. They had the young quarterback. Obviously, Jefferson's back, a couple of younger wide receivers. And then I know Notre Dame also had groomed a couple of younger guys in the secondary and on the defensive side, and also on the offensive side, some wide receivers. Aston Offenman is back. So, the cupboard's not there. Yeah, they're going to have to get some experience first, obviously. They may be a little shaky early, but I have a feeling both those teams, guys, are going to have pretty solid seasons.
We're talking with Ghizal Hasan, the voice of Riverside TV football. The schedule is out. And again, I should say this is the tentative schedule. It's kind of like a flex schedule, right? So if there's a good game down the road, you guys have the liberty to make some changes. But the way it looks right now, Ghizal, you just mentioned Notre Dame. I do want to bring up, you guys are doing on September 14th, the Holy Shield, Notre Dame against Aquinas. It's no longer a league game, but still one of the biggest rivalries in all of the Inland Empire, and this is two of the best programs as well.
I was so bummed out because I wanted to do that game for 3 years. It never fit into the schedule. And when I saw it on the schedule, I was so excited. So, yeah, it's not an Ambassador League game anymore, but it's a rivalry game. And, you work with us for a couple of years, Pep. Rivalry games get nutty. And so I'm happy whenever we can get those rivalry games. Even if the teams aren't very good at the time, those games get nutty, as you know.
Oh, absolutely. I love the parochial schools, especially the Catholic schools, man. They go nuts. They love their high school football. Plus, we saw Notre Dame in 2015 win a CIF title. Aquinas won one last year. Both these schools are playing like a high level of football right now, so this will be like the last true test before they both go into league play. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I think the ratings will be through the roof for this one.
And then, obviously, with all due respect to Michael Chiklis, the Shield is at stake in this one. Michael Chiklis, who also played John Belushi early in his career, nearly got blackballed for it. But the Shield, I've seen the bell. I've seen the acts. I've seen a bunch of stuff. I've never been on the field for the Shield, and I'm excited for that one on September 14th.
It's a real live Shield. And, in fact, the last time I saw it, I was at an Aquinas High School basketball game against Notre Dame, and I look in the stands, and there was St. Brandon Rankins in the bleachers with the Shield, holding it up as Notre Dame had the basketball. It was unbelievable. It was like Captain America.
Oh, I love that. I love the star of the football team pumping up the basketball team. That's always very cool.
Hey, Ghizal, I'm picking out a couple games here on the schedule. Another one that I love you guys always keep on the schedule because it is a rivalry game, and they usually do it on Saturday night. I believe it's another Saturday night contest. It's King against Poly. That's September 8th. That's always a fun one. Not a league game, but always a fun one here in the city of Riverside.
Yeah, I think we went away from that last year because we were doing it every year, and is it a little bit overkill and whatnot? And people said, "Why didn't you do King and Poly?" Well, the people spoke, and we have it back. And normally, isn't that homecoming for one team or the other? Generally, that game. It's a little early though for it to be homecoming anyway. But there's always some kind of really cool presentation at halftime at that game as well. And, it's the tradition. It's the two schools. It's kind of the old school and the new school in Riverside, and it's always fun. I used to love when they would have the game at King. I think this year it's at Ramona, but it would be the Slugfest at Orange Crest. I'll have to come up with a new name because they're playing at Ramona this year.
Yeah, and King's finally going to have their coach full-time this next year, and Riverside Poly's really could be the big surprise in Riverside with the new coaching staff.
Yeah, because I don't know if you heard, but we're going to have Riverside Poly in studio, I think it's next Tuesday. But they've got Bill Powell on staff, who was the head coach at San Jacinto. They've got John, and John Rice. John Rice.
That's my guy, the Shakespearean scholar, John Rice.
Yes, smart, lovable guy. He was the head coach at North. Then he was an assistant for a couple of years at Bosco. And now he's back on the Riverside Poly staff with Derek DeWitt. I mean, they've put together this all-star staff. They're going all in this year at Riverside Poly.
Hey, don't forget this, Ghizal. They hired my arch nemesis, Mike Stauffer.
I got to root against him now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Team Gorham all the way. So but here's the funny thing. Here's what worries me now. If you and Pep ever had a falling out, I'd be in a real tough spot. You know?
Would be.
Who do I take sides with? You guys got to stay friends, okay?
I don't know. It's already on the fringes, so I don't know. You might have to start thinking about that, Ghizal.
Yeah, it could be any day now. We come in, and it could be. It's like I'm like Jerry Lewis. Would we call it Lewis and Martin?
I see you guys as David Spade and Chris Farley, but that's just me.
I see the resemblance, actually.
Whoa. I've never been called David Spade. Well, thank you. I'm a little blonde guy.
Yeah. You're a fitter, more handsome. You're the funny guy, and Pep's kind of the uptight guy.
That's
works.
me.
It works. You guys, listen, I looked at your ratings. It works beautifully.
Hey, they're moving us into a bigger studio, Ghizal.
I've been hearing that. I'll believe it when I see it because you guys deserve a big studio. You guys deserve your own building. And iHeartRadio, they got to come through with this stuff, man. I hate promises that aren't kept.
Yeah, we got a little room. We shut the door. We all sweat. It gets hot. But we heard they're moving us to a big studio because the ratings are pretty good. So we're excited about that. So the next time you visit us in person,
all I know is you're pounding the Angel station, and that makes me happy.
Hey, Ghizal, let me ask you about one more. This is the last game on the schedule because, again, league play will wrap up before the playoffs at the end of October. So on October 26th, you're going to have Arlington against Notre Dame. Now, Arlington, I feel like, is a wild card because they were pretty good last year under Lunsford.
Yeah.
Now Jeff Roney's the head coach. If you follow Riverside football, and I know you do, obviously, you're familiar with Coach Roney. I feel like in this new Raincross Conference, Arlington versus Notre Dame could be a league championship game, and it's going to be on Riverside TV.
See, that's why I keep it on the payroll, Pep. You are very astute. You're very astute. I'm a huge Roney ball guy, and here's what I think. I think Arlington is going to take some lumps early. But once they get into league schedule and Roney ball gets on that, that's like that locomotive track, like what's that Jethro Tull song, Locomotive Breath. When they start rolling down the track, they're going to be hard to stop. And that should be. I'm hoping that's got playoff implications there in Week 10.
Well, hey, Ghizal, we're going to cover a lot of the River Valley Conference because a lot of those teams are in Riverside. I am going to give you a little surprise here. Norta Vista has two backs that are brothers of the two greatest running backs in Norte Vista history. We're going to have a Malesio brother and a little Freddie Holly, incoming freshmen, are going to be a surprise for Norte Vista this year with that big offensive line. Look for Norte Vista to be fantastic again under Ken Badmore.
Holly Train 2.0. All we need to make sure now, Jeff, is that you don't sabotage Coach Backdoor's diet. I look forward to watching the Braves. They took some lumps last year. I'm looking forward to them bouncing back this year.
Yeah, there was a 5-team first place, and then Harupa Valley got second place out of 6. So, yeah, somebody better separate themselves because we don't want to have a 5-way tie for first like we did last year.
Well, and here's what it comes down to is that game against Hillcrest was a thriller. They were a hair. Norte Vista was a hair in a down year from winning their league, so it should be fun. Should be a fun one.
Great games on the schedule for Riverside TV. Ghizal, we always appreciate the time. We'll put that complete schedule on the Inland Sports website, and if there's any changes, we'll be the first to let you know. But Ghizal, we got to see you in person real soon, brother.
I'll stop by real soon. I always thank you guys for the opportunity. Stay healthy, stay well, and I will talk to you guys soon.
All right, see you, Ghizal.
See you, buddy.
Yeah.
Ghizal Hasan, the voice of Riverside TV. He's hanging out wearing Corona Del Mar, some swanky, fancy place that we'd never go. But
yeah, he's in a top-secret location down in
it is?
Del Mar.
Oh, man.
And it's all...
I think I just said it, though.
That's okay. That's okay. Del Mar's a big place.
Does Batman say where the Bat Cave is? No.
No, but there's a bunch of these play-by-play guys. They get together a symposium every year. It's a who's
Why
who.
aren't we there?
Because we're not invited. We're not cool enough. But there's like 10 guys, he said, and they sit around, they hunker down, and they get to the ins and outs of calling play-by-play.
Like a home run call.
Yes. No, Vin. No. But no, it is a big deal, and he's under top secret, in a ballroom somewhere in Del Mar, talking football, basketball, and baseball play-by-play.
Hey, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we're going to talk about teams that you need to keep an eye on, turnaround teams that we're calling them, teams who might have a breakout season. Plus, you guys aren't going to believe this. There's 2 Peps in the studio right now.
There are 2 Peps.
We're going to talk to the other Pep, actually the original Pep, when we come back on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
You gotta fight for your right to vote.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I'd say that's my passion because I've done it. I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and help them reach their athletic potential, help them, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then, what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, in terms of speed, power, strength, agility.
We're a small family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajalco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Greg Holla, listen, I'm not trying to take your job. I'm not trying to push the buttons, but we have an ant running across the board. Can I get him? Just let it, okay, all right, I'll let him go. Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 a.m. There he goes. We're brought to you by Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. Right now, when you mention the Inland Sports Show at Catalano Motors, you get $500 off. You guys already know you're going to save thousands on their weekly specials at Catalano Motors, but right now, when you mention the Inland Sports Show, you get $500 off. We are here to help. We're trying to keep money in your pocket. That's what we do here on the Inland Sports Show. CatalanoCars.com is the website. Catalano Motors off of Temescal Canyon Road in Corona.
Hey, guess what? You know, we were just talking with Ghizal. We were talking poly football.
Yes.
My arch nemesis just reached out to me.
He did?
Yeah, he said he thought we were friends. I said, no, we're not. Don't kid yourself, Coach Stauffer. Just know that anytime I see you, we're gonna have to walk opposite directions, buddy. But I am looking forward to seeing the new look Bears.
I think they're gonna be good. They stockpiled all these great coaches. It's gonna be a fun season, I think, for Riverside Poly.
Yes, it is.
The Bears will join us in studio. I believe it's Tuesday next week. We've got a bunch of high school football teams lined up. We're excited to talk about them right here on the Inland Sports Show. So, Jeff, we've got a very special guest in studio, and before we formally introduce him, we got to bring up a story. So
great one.
We have planning meetings already going on for the Inland Empire All-Star Football Classic. It's 33 years in a row, the longest-running high school football all-star game in the state of California. We had a very important meeting. All the dignitaries, big names, getting together at Romano's in downtown Riverside. Jeff, you want to take the story from there? Because I wasn't part of it. I just walked in.
This was the best. I'm going to say this. There was a beautiful young lady, and we were...
Can we get her to call the show?
Oh, we should, if we could find her. But I was, she was... Apparently, she was asking for...
She works at Romano's.
She works at Romano's. She's a hostess or a waitress, but she had heard that Pep was going to be in the building. So Pep and I walk in, we sit down, and the young lady walks in, and she goes, she's all giddy with anticipation.
Where's Pep? Where's Pep? I can't believe he's going to be here. It's Pep.
And I look over, I go, he's right here.
I'm right here.
And Jim Clover's saying he's right there. She looks through Pep,
through me like I'm invisible.
Like he was nothing. She looked at me and she's like, "That's not Pep. That's not Pep." She goes, "You know, you're a little white to be the Pep I know." And I go, "Oh, you're
too Mexican."
Oh, that's not that Pep. It is the original voice of Riverside Poly, John W. North, Riverside City College. He is the voice, the great Leon Culpepper. Hey, thanks for coming by today. What brings you by?
Well, I was in the neighborhood, and since you guys gave me a great come-on ad about the Romano's trip, I said, okay, I'm in the north area, went over to check out a little basketball practice, but the gym was too hot, so they're not practicing. So I said, you know what, I'm going to stop by and see the guys that appreciate me just as much as I appreciate them.
Well, thank you for coming by. I've known you I've known you my entire life. You've known my family since before I was born, I would have to say. And it's always a pleasure to see you. It's always great to hear the deep baritone voice of you, Mr. Leon Culpepper. We love talking. Pep and I, when you're not here and your name comes up, we always say this. Hello, everybody. I'm Leon Culpepper. The greatest. I'm telling you, man, it's a pleasure to have you in studio. You've seen more basketball, baseball, and football than any of us in this room. You've seen it from its infancy. You were friends with Bobby Bonds. You have been a staple of Riverside, and it's a pleasure to have you in here with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm 72 years young. Been retired about 9 years from Poly, the School of Champions. And then I remember you from way back to the Ramona Rams days when your dad coached, and it was some battles, not battles, wars. Because he followed a good coach, Coach Williams, who was at Ramona, who took Ramona. They had, matter of fact, the color man with the Golden State Warriors, Barnett. Yeah, he had Barnett. I remember Barnett. The big battle back in those days at Wheelock Gym was Jim Barnett versus Bobby Rule of Riverside Poly.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that Bobby Rule, I'm going to say this, outside of Reggie Miller, possibly the best basketball player to ever come out of Riverside. He's really forgotten. Remember, he was a big man, a staple in the NBA. Used to give it to Wilt Chamberlain.
Used to give it to him. He held, first of all, Bobby lived right over there on Kansas Avenue, right down the street from the Bobby Bonds complex. Bobby Rule was probably, before Reggie, the greatest player to come out of Poly. And the bottom line, we were talking about him. Well, they were talking about him on Facebook, Kelvin Butler and all the North boys.
One of my best friends in the world.
Right. Kelvin said, who is the best center ever to come out of Riverside? They put some names out there. They put his name, a couple other names. I had to go on Facebook and tell Kelvin, it don't work like that. There's only one center out of Riverside. His name is Bobby the Jaw Rule. Bobby had a real big jaw, so everybody on the east side had a nickname, and that was his name. And he held Wilt under 30 one night when he played for Seattle. And he was went to Colorado State out of RCC.
Where they won the state championship?
Right. Played for Tarkanian. They went 32-0 one year, 32-1, 31-1 the next year. So yeah, he could play.
Yeah,
you're like the local historian. Like, we could bring up any name, and you'd be like, you know what? I remember that guy. He dropped 32 on a Tuesday night against the Riverside, against Ramona.
Yeah, since 1970, I've you know me, I was around every single game that my dad ever coached at Norte Vista, Ramona, La Sierra. I saw you I was at every Rain Cross game for at least 10 years from start to finish. We've seen some great basketball players. I never got to see Bobby Rule play. I will say the best center I ever saw play in Riverside would probably be Kelvin, but I've heard the legend of Bobby Rule from my father, from you, and various guys. Billy Mulligan, Jerry Tarkanian, they've all said the same thing. Bobby Rule was a dominant fixture and really forgotten here in Riverside.
Right, he was one of the greats come out off the community. Eddie Fomar, another good one from Poly. Poly had some players. Curtis Cooper, who was Bobby Rule's cousin, who was actually 6'11". We used to call him Cheetah Jones, and he played for Mulligan.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, for Mull, and because I love Mulligan. When I went to RCC, I just got back to the States from overseas with the Army, and I love Mulligan because he used to shoot dice with us down in the neighborhood. And I said, Coach Mull, you the best, man. He was a great guy. I see his son down at Capistrano Valley, Capital Valley, and he's doing the same thing his dad was doing. So it's all in the blood.
Now, there's one other person that I think I need to mention as my mother and father were very good friends with, and I know you were very good friends with, was the late Bobby Bonds here in Riverside.
That was like my brother, man. This will be August 23rd. Next month will be 15 years since we lost him. And I don't, a lot of people, I actually was with a friend, and he kept telling me, or the family kept saying, hey, every day you say something about Bobby Bonds. And I said, well, you know what? That was my best buddy. We were around, our parents came here together from the South. And when I was about 5 or 6 years old, that's all I knew. And the bottom line, he went to Longfellow Elementary, I went to Irving, where Lincoln is. Then we both reunited at university, and in 3 years at university, in all sports, we never lost a game in anything. Basketball, football, track, of course, track. We never lost. It was a neighborhood insult if you lost in track at it when you went to university. It wasn't a middle school then. It was junior high. So plus we had some images to follow. Bobby's brother Robert was a state champion in the hurdles 2 years in a row, and then he played for the AFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. He was that, and he was had a body like Arnold, and he didn't lift no weights. You know what I mean? But yeah, Bobby, I miss him, and I talk to Barry about once a week, and we actually had a talk last Saturday. He said, you know what, Uncle Leon? I'm a better hitting coach than my dad. And I looked at him, I looked at Barry Bonds, and I said, wait a minute, how the hell did you think you learned how to hit?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of interesting, but yeah, that was my best buddy. I miss him every day, and I guess it was that kind of friend that you, I mean, we did a lot, man. We did a lot. If I could tell some of the stories, unreal. We were kids. We'd come from Compton. Bobby just signed, and he bought a 1964 Chevy, and he bought that Chevy for $5,500 for a brand new car. Well, we would go to Compton before he went to spring training to mess around with girls. Well, to make sure that you didn't fall asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, Bobby would make everybody roll the windows down, and we would play what they call freeze out all the way from Compton. So you wasn't going to sleep because it was too damn cold. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was a great athlete. And I think he put Riverside on the map, and we're, blessed to be in this city and to have him. People ask him, and I've been with Bobby, and they'll say, hey, what's this little city, Riverside? You got Adam Kennedy, Alvin Davis, Bobby Bonds, Tommy Hall, all these baseball guys from this little small, and Riverside is a mecca for baseball and all sports now.
Pep, can you hold on one more segment?
Gotcha.
Let's take a break. When we come back, because I want to hear what's new with Barry Bonds. I also want to ask you about the new JW North football coach. I know you're big on local Riverside football as well. We got Pep in the house, the original, here on the Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
How you guys doing? Coach Bass here with Boost Training. We're here at the BPC and it's summertime. We have another Boost Training tip for you. This tip goes out to all the football players. You spent the entire offseason getting strong, putting on weight, getting bigger. Now it's time to make that sports specific and turn it into power. So these next few tips are going to show you exactly how to do that. Let's check it out. Okay, so our first tip of the day is what's called a depth jump. This is a great drill to turn strength into power that you want to hit as you start getting closer to the season for an off-season football player. So what Cruz is going to do, he's going to take a quick step off the box. He's going to hit the ground as quickly as possible, get up, elevate, and he's going to land on the higher set of boxes here. All right, he's going to have his hips flexed, arms extended. He's going to hold that for a second. He's going to step back down. Here we go, Cruz. Let's hit it. Get up. Nice. Wants to hold that position for a second. Take a nice and easy step down. Depth jump. Great drill to maximize power. There you have it. Now we just showed you guys a depth jump. Now, one of the things that you can do to progress that and really take it to the next level, you can either elevate the 18-inch box here, all right, or we can elevate the landing box, all right? And remember, the goal here is to minimize ground contact and have a great counter movement, meaning when we hit the ground, we want to bring our arms through, all right? So just one of the things that you can do to make this more difficult and to maximize all those power gains. So that's our boost training tip of the day. Thanks for checking us out again. And make sure you stay up to date with everything that's Boost. Check our schedules, check our videos at our website at www.boosttrainingsystems.com. Check out our Twitter at Boost_training and our Instagram at Boost Training. Grind hard, stay solid.
We're small, family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajalco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the Crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
I've heard people say that.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. We're going down memory lane with the original Pep in the house, Leon Culpepper. We're brought to you by
Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You can spoil yourself and your car. You know you got to get the oil change. Everybody has to do it every 3, sometimes every 5,000 miles. Get in there off of Alessandro Boulevard. It's Spoiled. Quick quality oil change.
Now, Pep, before we get to high school football, I'm just curious. So Barry Bonds was the hitting coach for Miami, right?
Correct.
Is he still coaching right now? What's new with him?
Well, if you turn your TV on to MSNBC, you might see him on the back of a motorcycle. Barry, since he's retired from, he still works for the Giants in the PR department. Because I talked to him the other day, like I said, I said, what you doing? He said, I just got in from the stadium. He has turned his hobby into being a long-distance bicycle rider. Because he took a video, he had it on Facebook, and he rode across the Golden Gate. Then he called me. He said, Uncle Leon, you and my dad, we could have did this. And I looked at him. I mean, didn't look at him, but I just thought I could just see me asking Bobby, come on, Bonds. We always called each other by last name. We're going to ride these bicycles across the Golden Gate. I could just hear him. You would have heard him all the way back to Riverside. Are you crazy or what? But anyway, Barry is stopped.
He likes riding the bike now, huh?
Yeah. He's a bicycle rider. Got him one of them probably $5,000 or $10,000 bikes, and he rides, I'd say, 35 to 40 miles a day. And that's what he's living up in the Bay Area. He moved back up to the Bay Area, and he built a house in the La Honda area right on the other side of Stanford. And that's what he does. That's his hobby now. He's a bicyclist.
Good for him. Does he have an itch to get back into coaching at all, or is he just loving life right now?
He's kind of loving life. His daughter's a freshman, a sophomore. His youngest daughter's a sophomore at Santa Clara. She plays basketball for Santa Clara. She got a scholarship. His other two kids are grown now. And so he's just kind of enjoying life. Bicycle riding, that's his thing,
Going to Giants games?
Going to Giants games. And I know the other day he was there, and then I called him. I said, wait a minute, you're at home already? He said, I didn't have to stay. I just had to go. So
Shake some hands. And
I've been bugging him. I need to get me a couple of Willie Mays autographed balls. You know what I mean? And Willie's getting there, and I want to get those for my grandsons, and so they can keep them, And
that's really special.
Yeah, exactly. When you get a guy to meet a guy, that was one of my big special things when I used to go to spring training with Bobby. The first time I got to meet Willie Mays, then after that, I was Willie's bodyguard. What Willie would do after spring training, he'd go down into what they call Buckeye, Arizona. That's like the hood of Arizona. And he would go to the Elks Club, and he would like to shoot dice. So Willie would come in there. He told me, all I want you to do is stand in my back. Tell him I'm not giving no autographs till we get done playing some dice. And so I'd stand there, and Willie, would do his thing, shoot a dice. And one of the great things that he did one year, all the golf tournaments that he goes to all during the year, he put all the watches. You know how they give you a watch at a golf tournament? Willie Mays put them all in a bag. When he came to spring training, he went to the Elks Club, and all the guys that were like 50 and 60 years old, he gave them all one of those watches. Those are some of the things that, athletes do you never hear about.
No, you never hear about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little high school football as well, because we love talking prep football here on the Inland Sports Show. And, you're a long supporter of high school football in the Riverside area. And when you came in, we were telling you that Dennis Brown, who obviously led Riverside Poly to a championship game. I think it was, 2014, I want to say, when they played Redlands East Valley?
Right, yeah.
In that Inland Division championship game. Now he's at JW North. You didn't know about that. What's your first reaction, Pep?
Well, we talk a lot, me and a couple of the old coaches. I won't say their names on the air.
Protect their identity.
We want to protect their identity. And we call it the High School Inland Empire musical chairs of coaching. Either a coach, once they resign, they'll say, well, I want to spend more time with my family. And then the next year, you see them, they're coaching somewhere else.
Like, what happened to your family?
Where the opportunity is a little bit greater, for them. So when I've been knowing Brownie and them since RCC days, maybe for at least 30 years.
Wow.
Because there's the Brown brothers out of Hemet, because they actually coached at Poly when I worked at Poly. Brown's, not Dennis, but his younger brother coached there, Randy, I believe his name is. He's over in the Philippines, because I used to kid him. I would kid the Brown brothers. I'd say, okay, which one was the best football player? And they would always say, the younger brother said, no, Pep, he was one heck of a running back. He was recruited by SC out of high school. So there's about 7 or 8 Brown brothers.
Yeah, and they were Notre Dame guys as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so you meet them, and I know when I met them, they're real Christian, and I had to refrain from, and then
they're not that Christian, my man. They're not that Christian.
I know what you mean. Then the one coach is I think his name is Ron. He coaches basketball at Mount San Jacinto.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so we always see each other, because when he sees me, he say, Pep, tell coach this or tell coach that. I said hello. And so, yeah, but that was real surprising. When I was at a North game, of course, I do PA for North, and I saw Brownie there last year. I asked him, I said, Brownie, are you going to coach any football? Are you through coaching? And he told me straight out, he said, no, Pep, I ain't done. And so I was looking at, the way the balance of the weights go. And I said, well, Mr. Du Bois, if you slip up or if anybody slips up, Brownie going to be right there.
Because he was going into administration. Like, it looked like he was going into the kind of the front office kind of things, principal, athletic director, that sort of thing. Now he's back on the sideline.
That's boring. That's boring. You got to get him. You know, and one of the first things Pep said to me here in the commercial, it says, "Are you going to get back into coaching?" And he asked me, and I'm going to be honest with you, unless my kids are superstars, even then,
you could be the LeVar Ball. The LeVar family could be the LeVar.
Oh no,
Riverside.
No.
He's got 3 boys.
Yeah,
right?
but they're wimps. They're not tough. Like I said, my one son is a sailor. My oldest boy plays a little basketball, but he plays the cello, and my other one eats dirt. But no, I'm done. I'm retired. I couldn't ask for a better partner in Pep Fernandez. And no, it's just so much fun hearing the stories that you give us, the stories that we get to cover in the Inland Empire, the college games we watch. I'm having more fun doing this than you can imagine. I'm having fun talking to you. I love hearing these stories about Riverside. But no, heck no. Hell no. Never going back.
I got you. Yeah, you talk about LeVar Ball. Let me give you my story on that. I've been doing the battle. Actually, I called a guy. It cracks me up sometime when you need help. You figure you call a friend. I didn't know that the LeVar Ball basketball thing is going on at Citizens Bank.
Yes.
I said, they might need a PA guy. But they only got 3 games left. Anyway, I do the battle zone out at Centennial for Josh
Which is
Giles.
a huge high school tournament.
Yeah, huge for Josh Giles, former Glendora star, former Concordia star. And so I'm doing a game when Lonzo was playing. So LeVar's sitting across the court from me. So at halftime, I had a portable mic. I met him in the concession stand in the foyer. I said, "Hey, sir, I might as well hand this mic to you because you're doing a better job of PAing than I am." And that's the first time that I ever met LeVar, and he just started laughing because when his kids were playing there, you could hear him.
Oh yeah,
very, very vocal. And I'm like, "Dude, shut up. Let the coach coach." And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the bottom line, that's what I did. But that's my LeVar Ball story. And the thing with Brownie, like I said, North got a good one. You don't take a team to the semifinals, then you let the guy go, and he comes across the street, and he's going to rebuild. He'll put North back on the map.
Yeah, North always has guys. They've got skill position players. I mean, they weren't that bad last year. We still don't know exactly what happened with Coach Dubois. It looked like he stepped down. We don't know the reasoning. There might be some personal reasons. But to have Dennis Brown kind of fall in your lap, he was already on campus as an assistant principal.
Right.
Now he's back on the sidelines. I mean, of course, it's always hard to change coaches this close to the season. But if you're going to do it, Dennis Brown's kind of the perfect guy to do it.
Right, and he's been there for years, so he knows the community real well. He knows how to go get some players and do what it takes to put them back up on the map. And I'm pretty sure he's got some great assistants because you just mentioned his name, Dennis Brown, and there's nothing bad that you can say about it other than the fact, like, he was with us at RCC for years, and now he's back home is what I say. And I think he'll do one heck of a job. He's a great guy.
So, Pep, on a Friday night, let's say North is home, Poly's home. I mean, where do you go on a Friday night?
Actually, for 33 years, I did every football game that Riverside Poly had because I worked security. So on Friday night, I'm at home.
Enjoying a little downtime.
Actually, a couple of schools have asked me. I think Riverside, Notre Dame, Ken Scott.
Ken Scott.
Yeah, Ken Scott. And then out Rancho Verde, I just met my grandson's going to school out there, and I just met the football coach. He said, "Hey, do you do any announcing?" I said, "Uh-huh."
Yes,
and
sir.
I said, "Yeah." So
you're like, "What do you think? Do you think I do?" Of course I do.
Yeah. What do you think I do with this voice? You know what I mean?
And you do RCC football as well, right?
Right. Well, the Tigers, we are always number 1 or number 2 within the top 5 in the state. We just cannot handle Fullerton. They own us. You know what I mean? But
they own a lot of people right now.
Exactly. As Coach Kraft says, we're not going to quit and we're not going to give up. So that's all that counts.
But year in, year out, I mean, you can pencil in RCC as one of the top teams in the state.
Oh, when I've been there, this is my 10th year with Kraft. And when he first came, Barry Meyer introduced me to him. He said, "Pep, this guy," and I've heard, I knew about him at UCLA, San Diego State. And honestly, we get players now, like I tell people back in the day, Jeff will tell you this too, when we graduated from high school. Of course, I'm older than him. But people would say, "Okay, I'm going to RCC to play football." Well, if you look at our roster, we might have maybe 3 to 5 local kids. Everybody else, Portland, Oregon. Where you from? Chicago, back east. Our big kick returner, little small guy. I asked him, I said, first of all, I had trouble with his name. The name is Tenacious. And I said, "Where'd you get this name at?" He said, "Well, I'm from Louisiana." I'm from a little city out of Shreveport. So once he told me that, already
That's
knew. That was
That all makes sense.
Yeah, that's when you wake up. That's when you give birth and you go look around. The first thing you say, my name is Brick. There it is.
Tenacious.
Brick, yeah,
Right.
Tenacious.
Then I asked him, I said, well, your name is Tenacious. I said, what's your dad? He said, Alice something. And I just shook my head and walked off. I said,
Alize.
Well, Pep, in the Tom Kraft era, you said like a decade worth of football at RCC. Who's probably the best player you've seen come through that program? Because they've had a lot of big names, local, non-local, guys who have gone on. They've gone, maybe Division I programs. I don't know, maybe gone to the NFL. I know it's the receiver. He was Isaac Whitney, right? A couple of years ago.
Right.
He was a good one. He latched on with the Raiders.
Now that he's with the Raiders, I hit him up. He don't even return my call.
Oh!
But no, he's good. Isaac's a good kid. He was the state of Oklahoma's player of the year in football. Then he came out here and he could just flat. If you'd have to say it depends what position it is. If it goes to quarterback, when we had this quarterback last year, Viramontes, I had talked to some people, some poly people. They said, Pep, he's a man playing with children. He was one heck of a quarterback on the offense that Kraft runs with that shotgun or what they want to call it, with a pistol. Yeah, Viramontes was good, except when you played a team with the equal talent that he had. I talked to the coaches at Fullerton. They said, hey, man, to stop you guys, all we had to do was make sure we didn't let Viramontes get outside on us. So you know what I mean? And each year at RCC, we've since Kraft's been there, we have not had that real dominant running back. We had Seth Acta out of Vista Murrieta.
Yeah.
Real good
Seth,
running back,
yes.
little small kid. But then we get to the championship game. His left toe is hurting. So we're like, we don't have no backup. So everybody in the stadium knew RCC's going to throw.
You have to throw.
We're going to throw, So I'd have to say Viramontes, between Viramontes, as far as a quarterback, and Skyler.
Skyler Howard, right?
Right, out of West Virginia.
He was a good
I used to call him Tex. He's out of Texas. That's a tough little kid. He get banged up every Saturday night. And after the games, I go down in the locker room because I go see one. I'll give everybody a little chin check if they did good. Every now and then we get a lineman. He wants to pancake somebody, throw a penalty, and I tell him, hey, look, we don't need no penalties. Everybody hates Riverside. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they don't want to see the Inland Empire win. They don't want to see the Inland Empire win. So you don't need to give them anything to help them. You know what I mean? So I'd have to say it's between Skyler and Viramontes. Skyler could probably pass a little bit better. Viramontes overall, as far as controlling the game, he could run. He was probably the best wide receiver, I'd have to say, was Whitney. Yeah. Then we had another receiver better than Whitney, the kid out of Roosevelt, Sam Boyd.
I remember him as well, yeah. He was a big kid, wasn't he?
This cat was the Terrell Owens of junior college football. He could command a game, and we could have won state with him, but he was a head case. I guess he got into some kind of domestic stuff.
Oh, man, I hate to hear that.
Ended up messing his career up, but he was probably that, and then lineman. We've just had some great ones. We've had the big boy, Mustafa, the coach. He was good, just all over. Kraft we've had some good players.
He's had a great run.
We had the kicker, one we just sent to Fresno State out of Citrus Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Citrus Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, little Puerto Rican kid, Jimmy Camacho.
Oh, Jimmy Camacho.
He was a stud.
Yeah, he was a stud. But, yeah, it's been a good run down there at RCC. I just want to try to get into their Hall of Fame, and I want to win a state championship.
Well, we're going to start the push on this show then. We'll start with the Pep for Hall of Fame push.
There you go.
And I'll tell you what, now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Riverside City College is going to play San Bernardino Valley this year.
Oh, yeah, the Battle of the Bell.
So it's back. It is back, and it's I'll tell you. I
think it's September 15th or somewhere around there.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, it's going to be fun, though, to see, because San Bernardino Valley's on the rise. They got a brand new stadium, a great new coaching staff.
Great stadium.
And they've got some dudes. They've got players. So it'll be fun to see Riverside and San Bernardino get back after it again, starting here in the fall.
Right, for for the Battle of the Inland Empire. They've got some great schools out there. Eisenhower, Redlands, East Valley, to pull from. So there's will be some good talent.
Cajon's
been
and
really
that coach
good.
is from where? Isn't he a Mount Sac guy?
He's a Mount Sac, and then he was a backup quarterback at UCLA. He's a genius when it comes to offense, so it'll be fun to watch. It'll be a high-scoring affair between he and Kraft.
Well, Pep, we always appreciate the time. We got to take a break. When we come back, we got to get to the Angels, Jeff. We still have to hear about Garrett Richards. He might have Tommy John surgery. It's not looking good for the Halos ace. But, Pep, you always have an open door, brother. It's good seeing you.
Thank you. I thank you, gentlemen. One of the best shows. If you're not listening, you better listen and tell a friend. The best show in earth, and on this earth, Is this from 3 to 6 every day?
Every single day.
Every single day I listen to these guys. It makes my day. Thank you, gentlemen.
And the next time I go to Romano's, I'm taking the real
Yes,
pimp.
take the real pimp.
Hey, I'll tell you what, she was really
You're
good
a little
looking,
cutie.
and she wanted
Well, you
no
know-
part of us.
You're from Riverside.
Oh, yeah.
You know the deal.
Yeah.
Where the prettiest girls come from? Riverside Poly.
Exactly. That's true. That's I always dated the poly girls, even though I went to Ramona.
We'll be back. It's the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Hey, woman.
Focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
We're a small family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajelco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car, whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Man, Jeff was just telling us he and Pep, Culpepper, go way back, man. You guys have been friends for a long time.
I'm telling you, I have known Pep since before I was born. And, you know, I wanted to say this. My mother was really, really good friends with Bobby Bonds.
Yes.
Lived 2 doors down. Very, very good friends. I want to say this. They went to Longfellow. They mentioned the elementary school. And Bobby used to walk my mom to school every day. They were in the same class. Very good family, the Bonds family. I love them. Culpepper, another great guy in Riverside. So I'm happy to see he's doing well. He is the original. He's got that unique voice. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to invite him into my bedroom. And
you
when
are?
Well, listen. He can hide in my closet.
I want to hear the end of this
He
story.
can hide in my closet.
Okay, now it's getting better.
And then he can narrate my when I'm trying to romance my wife. I'll just give him a book to read because he does have one of those voices.
You told me the only thing you do in your bed is eat cookies and milk.
I do that, but no, just to add a little spice. Could you imagine hearing? It's like Barry White talking in your ear.
No, I can't imagine that.
I'll write a love note to my wife, to Smed, and I'll let. Here it is, right here. This is what I picture in my head: Culpepper reading a love note to my wife, getting her all hot and bothered, and then boom, I just move in for the kill, baby. But no, he's got one of the best voices ever.
And the next time we go to Romano's, we're bringing Pep.
But yeah, because she was really good looking.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken's Sporting Goods. Since 1976, they have been bringing you all of your sporting gear needs for yourself, for the entire team. And they can do Letterman's jackets as well. Embroidery, screen printing for your whole team or organization or business. Think of Ken's Sporting Goods. KenSportingGoods.com is the website. Please check them out online. And they're located right there off Hamner in Norco. We love you, Ken's Sporting Goods. All right, real quick, we're going to spend 3 or 4 good minutes on the Halos right now because we're talking starting pitching, and Jeff, they've been all banged up. Here's the latest on the Angels starting pitchers. We found out today Garrett Richards has what they call damage to the UCL in his elbow. What does that mean? We don't know exactly, but there's two ways they can handle this. One, they take the conservative route, as they call it, and they can maybe see if the elbow is going to heal on itself, that ligament in its elbow. Or they do the Tommy John surgery now, get it over with, and start that recovery process. Not good for the Halos, the last thing they needed. And ironically, Jeff, the UCL ligament is the same thing that's been plaguing Shohei Ohtani, who still isn't pitching. He's been back as a designated hitter, but this is a pretty significant injury that could require Tommy John for Garrett Richards.
Yeah, Garrett Richards, you know, he is a Riverside native. I don't know if you knew that.
Wait, he was born here, though,
yes,
right? Like, how long did he stay here?
3 days. No, I don't know. But no, we're going to talk about this with the Angels. Have you ever seen a pitching staff? I'm not going to call out coaches or the training staff. Our boy Trent Rush said that they've changed the training staff and the doctors of the Angels the last few years, but it sure does seem like there's an influx of the same type of injury with this, you know, these pitchers over and over and over. Is it something that the pitching staff, coaching staff, the pitching coach, is there something going on, you think, or is it just a string of bad luck?
You know, I don't know, because I'll say this. We have the Halos under a magnifying glass, the Halos and the Dodgers, right? Because we talk about them every day. We watch all their games. We study everything that's going on with them. There could be other teams going through the same situation. I just feel like the Angels, more so than anybody else, goes through these injuries, their starting pitchers, more than any other major league team. I'd have to go through every single team to see if there's similar situations, but I feel like it's really hitting them the hardest.
Well, they have 9. Currently, they have 9 pitchers on the DL.
It's crazy.
9. I mean, you look around the major leagues, there's nobody with 9 pitchers that are on the DL, and these guys are on the DL for 60 days, so they're going to be out. I mean, this is just letting everybody know, hey, we're going to have surgery, so they put them on that 60-day deal just to replace players, but, man, that's a lot of arms for such a great baseball team, and it's kind of sad to see this kind of go to a loss right now, right in the middle of the pack towards the bottom in this tough American League West.
Tough to lose Garrett Richards like that. An update now on Shohei Ohtani. He has been a DH. They're going to reevaluate him on July 19th, which is next week. And they're going to determine if he can, begin the rehab process to maybe pitch again this season. But again, this is the UCL we're talking about. If they value him as a pitcher, he could also be looking at Tommy John, but they have not decided to go down that route yet. So slow your roll. They're still trying to figure out Shohei Ohtani as well. And then Friday night, tomorrow night, Jeff, we're going out to the 66ers game as they're taking on Rancho Cucamonga because Nick Tropiano, another Angels starting pitcher, he has shoulder inflammation, but he will make his second rehab start for Inland Empire on Friday night. So another Angel on the mend, rehabbing with IE. We're going to go check him out tomorrow night. Let's take a break. When we come back, speaking of Rancho Cucamonga, the voice of the Quakes, Mike Lindskog, will join us next. He's going to console us after the winning streak is over for the Quakes after 15 in a row. We'll be back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
How you guys doing? Coach Bass here. We're back at the BPC continuing our series on building power. Today we're going to demonstrate a speed squat, and there's 3 aspects of this. There's a slow eccentric, an isometric, and a fast concentric. Now, concentric is going on the way up, and it's got to be fast and explosive as possible. So what Zach's going to do, he's going to get under the bar. All right, those thumbs around Zach. All right, he's going to go ahead and lift off. He's going to give me a 2-1-X tempo. He's going to go down slow, pause, then fast up. Good. What I'm really looking for here is bar speed. All right? That pause. And like I said, we're working 3 different elements of strength, right? We got that slow eccentric on the way down, that pause, and then fast up. This is a great drill to turn all that strength gain in the offseason to power. So like I said, this is a great drill that actually works on 3 different aspects of strength. All right, we got that slow eccentric going down. We got that isometric pause, that fast concentric going up. So while it maximizes power, we're still hitting 3 different elements of strength. We do it right here at Boost. Today's tip is all about the speed squat, and what I want to talk about is how we progress this exercise here at Boost. So we showed you guys a 2-1-X tempo that was going down for 2 seconds, pause 1, and then that fast concentric coming up. So what we'll do is over time, we'll play with the tempos a little bit, and we'll go from a 2-1-X to a 1-1-X tempo going down 1 second, pausing for 1 second coming up, or we'll go with an X1-X tempo with a quick eccentric, isometric contraction, and then we'll come up with the fast concentric. So a lot of different ways that we like to progress our athletes. Building strong and powerful athletes is what we do right here at Boost. grind hard, stay solid.
Focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. Just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. Come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Some would say Jeff Gorham is the Beastie Boy. Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE. 13:50 a.m. We're proudly brought to you by our good friends at Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. In fact, on Instagram, he just posted some inspirational words. Can I read those to everybody real quick from Boost Performance Training? Straight from the mouth of Ray Bass. Strength and conditioning is the key to continuous athletic development. The key to longevity And ultimately, the key to success. Boom! Ray Bass, Boost Performance Training, boosttrainingsystems.com. Make sure you follow them on Instagram and Twitter. Check them out. Athletes of all levels and all sports. Everybody's going to Boost. All right, Mike Lindskog, the voice of the Quakes, will join us in just a couple of minutes. Man, Jeff, the show has flown by. We haven't even got to the Dodgers lineup yet.
Oh!
I do have it here. Hold on one moment. Because we spent, good 3 or 4 good minutes on the Angels starting pitchers.
Hey, that's a long time right there.
We didn't even dive deep on the Halos here. But, yeah, the Dodgers lineup is tonight for against San Diego, where they can take first place with a win tonight against the Pods. But right now, let's go to the spoiled quick quality oil change celebrity hotline. I'm hoping he will console us. We cried all night long because the winning streak is over, but tonight they'll start a new one. The Quakes taking on Lancaster. The voice of your Rancho Cucamonga Quakes join us, Mike Lindskog. Mike, it was a great run. It was fun while it lasted, man, that 15-game winning streak.
No doubt. It was awesome. Every night had something different, and it was exciting. And last night we kind of hit a thud, a big old bump in the road with a 6-2 loss, and boom, it's over. It's done. History.
Well, you know who I blame? I don't blame you, Lindskog. I blame your buddy Chapman.
Why, Jeff?
Because you know what?
Yeah, that seems like a good plan. Let's go ahead and blame Chappie.
Yeah, anytime there's a loss, just blame Chappie. You know, he's on a 1-year deal. You just blame him, and then you move on to the next game.
Yeah, he's a young guy, and so I'm fearful that, degrading him on the radio might do some real long-term damage to him. But let's go ahead and do it just for the sake of fun anyway. Just,
we love Chappie.
To heck with the ramifications. Let's just blame it on him.
Exactly. Well, yeah, it was a great run. I've been listening every time I drive home to my humble abode, the Bat Cave, and I'll tell you what a great run. It's got to be special for you to call this. And what's it like? What's it been like for you? You're just a born winner right now.
It has, man. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, personally, it is. It's the longest winning streak I've ever called. I mean, obviously, 15-game winning streaks at any level of pro baseball just obviously don't come along and grow on trees, as they say. But it's been good. It's been a nice cap to what was an exciting finish for the first half. You guys were kind of there every step of the way. The Quakes were already going to the playoffs. 35-35 record in that first half, and then to open the second half basically on this kind of run has been incredible. And so now I think the focus doesn't need to be about the winning streak. It can be about getting guys healthy and getting through the rest of the season. We got almost 50 full games. It's 49 in fact, 49 full games before the playoffs start. And it's good. It was good to have the run out of the way, and frankly, it's time to move on to something else and get her going again.
Jeff, didn't you want to ask him something?
Well, my glass is empty, and I'm sitting here in the studio. I'll tell you, what is tonight? Is tonight Thirsty Thursday again?
It is. If your glass is empty, it's probably because you're not very thirsty. It's probably because you're full already, and you've already been out here, which is the case. But indeed, tonight is Thirsty Thursday. It's the end of our homestand. We got great seats available. Again, Pepsis are $2. We got beers for $3. Those are 16-ounce beers too. Those not those little tiny things that you're talking about. These are real manly beers. We got those going on out here at the ballpark. Great seats available. And again, the weather's perfect right now. Those 115-degree temperatures, those are long gone. So we're looking right around 85 degrees at game time. It's going to be sweet.
Well, I'm like Paul Bunyan. I'm going to bring my own Gatorade cooler, and we're just going to fill that sucker up with beer, and I'm going to drink the whole thing.
I think we'll stop you at the gate because I think that's illegal. But you go ahead and do you, man. You do you.
Just look for the big 6'8" guy. He's got a shaved head, and he's got the Gatorade cooler. That's Jeff.
That's me.
Gross. Are you really 6'8"? And there's no chance.
Hey, I'm 6'8", 280, my friend. And guess what? I have a surprise for you. Do you want to hear the surprise?
I don't know. Can we say it on the radio?
Tomorrow night, you and I are going to be together.
Are you coming to San Bernardino?
Pep and I are going to San Bernardino. We are going to hop on the 215 as soon as we get out of here, and we're going to drive up and say hello to you. So when you see me, just be prepared.
Is Mike coming down with something?
You know what? I mustered enough energy to do this radio interview, but I think I'm calling it sick tomorrow. That's it.
He's coming down with something.
Hey,
if I can hear it.
No, I'll breathe life into you, buddy. I'm going to give you the biggest bear hug ever.
Night. We got our first official date.
Yeah, you're going to get the best bear hug of your life. You might have some broken ribs, but I can't wait to see my little Lindskog.
Yeah, my ribs are made of jelly anyway, so it's all good. Go for it.
Hey,
well, I'm excited. Yeah, we got one home game tonight, and then you're coming on the road. All right. Well, gosh, be careful. I might put you on the air and go vice versa on you here.
I'm fired up.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to tame it down. We are affordable family entertainment while I'm on the air on my time. So I can't act like this and all goofy and silly and the innuendo that you constantly apply. We got to clean it up tomorrow if you're coming on the air, right?
Be
diligent and respectful.
Hey, I call college basketball games, and I can be professional at times, but just know that when we're off the air, I'm gonna be whispering in your ear, giving you wet willies, and just giving you all the love you deserve, Lindskog.
All right. Well, I'd say I can't wait, but that would be a cold-blooded lie, and I know your listeners know better. So be it. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, we'll see all you guys out here soon.
Hopefully he's not sick. Hopefully he'll be in the booth.
Yeah.
Holding it down.
Please, Pep, be the mediator. Be the middleman.
I'm trying, Mike. I'm going to be that buffer between the two of you.
Thank you.
Hey, is Chappie going to be there tomorrow night too?
Oh yeah.
Hey, so I heard, because on this show, Jeff and Greg Holla over here, they're the movie experts, the resident movie experts on the show. I know nothing about movies. I heard on the Quakes broadcast, you are the movie expert, and Chappie not so much.
Yeah, that's correct. We quarrel all the time regarding that. I'll talk about whatever movie reference, whatever, and I look over there to the left and he's, breaking out in a cold sweat. Please don't ask me about it. And, of course, I know the answer before I even get to the question, and so he's got to find new and improved ways to say, I've never seen that movie, Mike. Back to you. Don't call him the best color guy in the league for nothing.
This is going to work out great. I think Chappie and I are very similar.
Yes.
And then, Jeff, you can hang out with Lindskog all night.
Lindskog. Hey.
What a bonus. What a bonus for me.
You've seen the movie Step Brothers, obviously. Just know that you and I, we're going to get a pose just like the picture tomorrow.
I can't wait. And maybe we can go to the Catalina wine mixer afterwards. I hear it's terrific.
Yeah!
Quakes back home wrapping it up tonight against Lancaster. It's a thirsty Thursday. Make sure you check out Lone Mart Field tonight, 7:05. If you can't make it out there, of course, all the Quakes games all season long right here on Fox Sports IE, 6:50 pregame. Mike, we always appreciate it. And, yes, we will track you down tomorrow night. Look out for Jeff.
Sounds great. I'm going to go do some karate in the garage. I'll see you guys later.
Get warmed up.
Cobra Kai!
Thanks, Mike. I think you scared him off, Jeff.
Oh, I can't wait to see him.
I am.
I might kiss him on the forehead.
I know you might.
I will. Actually, I have no fear. Is Lindskog a big guy? 6 foot's nothing.
He's my height. He's my height.
Yeah, he's not a bit. Yeah, I'm going to show up. He's going to be Kono. The little Kono.
Jeff, I'm 5'11" and a half. I'm not a small guy.
Oh, you're snack size, buddy. You're snack size.
I'm average, ladies. I'm average.
Hey, there's no ladies listening to this show. Oh, yeah, there is.
If they did, they're gone.
Probably
just Mike's wife.
Yeah,
Mike
just
Lindskog's
Mike's
wife listens.
Everybody's small next to you, you Mongol.
Yeah.
He has no idea what's coming. No idea.
That's going to be fun. All right, when we come back, I'm going to quickly give you the Dodgers lineup, then we'll get you all set for Quakes baseball. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
We're a small family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajelco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
To the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. We wrap this thing up. It's brought to you by our good friends at Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. Right now, when you mention the Inland Sports Show, $500 off, but only at Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. Visit them online at catalanocars.com. Jeff, we are so fired up. The whole gang's going to the 66ers game tomorrow night. It's Jurassic Park night. We've got Nick Tropiano of the Angels. He's going to be on the bump. It's going to be a fantastic game as the Sixers are going to host the Quakes.
I am going into that place like a T-Rex, my friend. We're going to go over. We're going to mess with Lindskog and Chappy Chap, and then we're going to go over to the Inland Empire 66ers, and we are going to create carnage in the booth, my friend. Carnage! They don't know what's coming, my friend.
We love the Sixers. I always wear my Los Cocuys hat. In fact, they tweeted at us,
They
right?
did. They said, hey, Sports with Pep, look forward to seeing you at the park tomorrow for Jurassic Park night. Are you studying for the movie after the game?
I do love it. They're all on Netflix right now, right?
Yeah. He has no idea, man. You're going to be our Allosaurus tomorrow night. You are going to go in. You might. Let's see if you can eat a person. Eat a patron.
Me?
Eat a patron night.
I'm a vegan dinosaur.
No, that's your herbivore.
Are people gluten-free? See,
gluten-free,
it has to be gluten-free and dairy-free. So I don't know if I can handle that.
That would be called lunch. You're somebody's lunch. Somebody will eat you.
Here in our studio, we do have the picture of the hold on to your butts bobblehead. It's got the T-Rex, dinosaur.
Yes.
Getting ready to chomp on a baseball player sitting on a toilet.
It looks like they're eating a Quake.
It looks like it.
Holy cow. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't wait to be there.
There's a special ticket plan that go to 66ers online and get all the details. But yeah, there's you can get one of your own too. It's pretty cool. It's a sweet dinosaur bobblehead eating a player on the toilet. And it says, hold on to your butt. It doesn't get any better than that.
Do you think they know what's coming, though, honestly? Because we are going to go in there like wildfire. We're going to go in each booth. We're going to create havoc. We're going to be bigger than the game.
Steve Went, who calls the game.
Steve
for the
Went.
Sixers.
I told him we were going to be there. I'm going to go create havoc. I know that place. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time.
It's going to be awesome. We're excited about it. Big game tomorrow night. Quakes and Sixers. You know what? I don't even have time for the Dodgers lineup.
No!
I'm sorry we ran out of time, but if they just know that if they win tonight, they will move into first place in the National League West. Quakes baseball coming up at 6:50 right here on Fox Sports, IE 1350 AM. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, we'll be back. Citrus Valley football will join us, and the great Vinny Fazio. You're listening to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports, IE 1350 AM.
Bye!